Alrighty. I see that green thing. I hope I remember how to stream, but this is like, like this crazy, man. Like I'm telling you, it's been so long since I've done it. But what is going on, guys? Commodore Laz here today, bringing to you another One Piece discussion. This time we are live for it, talking about Wano Country Act 1 discussion. But today a little bit different. I was gonna do this in a video solo, and then I kind of got lazy and said, you know what, it's probably gonna be an hour long, so we'll do a stream instead. But then it turns to a collaboration afterwards. So joining me today to discuss Act 1 of the Wano Country Arc, my brother from the 666, man, German 66, Nya D Hemmingz. What is good, bro? Wagwan. Yeah, man, definitely, man. I mean, because the thing is, we haven't yet had like an actual collaboration yet between me and you. So like, I figured, you know what, the time is now. We actually get this in before the year ends. I did say I was gonna try to get more collaborations in, so definitely would be the first one and stuff. So it's only fitting, right? German 6-6. But man, Wano, yeah, big over, man. So Wano top 2 and not 2. But definitely Wano Country, man, Act 1. So much greatness, man. But we gotta start from the jump. We're gonna talk about basically from 909 up until 924, so all of Act 1. Pretty much giving you guys basically my insight and Nya's insight, basically on how we felt about the arc week to week, you know, from each chapter. Breaking down things into different little sections, so it'll be like, you know, we have certain chapters we'll be talking about as one piece of Act 1, and then, you know, we have other parts afterwards that we'll be discussing all until we get to 924. Then kind of maybe having a little bit of discussion as to what we think will transpire in 925, or basically the start of Act 2. If you guys have your own thoughts you want to talk about down in the chat as well, and then the comment section stuff, feel free to do so. And let us know at any point in time in the stream that everything is still Gucci, because I don't want to be talking and knowing that nothing is working whatsoever. It's been a while, I understand. And without further ado, let's just talk about Act 1. And we talk about the arrival to Wano. So from 909 to 911, basically from the Marco discussion, you know, regarding, you know, stuff with Weevil, the hometown stuff, all the way up until 911, stuff with Amigasa Village, with Luffy heading off afterwards, you know, to go and see, you know, trying to get a cure and stuff for my daughter, Otama, you know. But Nya, I need to ask though. So when we got the Marco discussion, and we had him talking about, you know, like, you know, where he was at in his life and stuff and everything, during that whole portion, how did you feel about that? Before I ask you this next question, so how did you feel when we got to see Marco again? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hold on. They're saying they can't hear you, actually. Was it like bug? Hold on. Chat, let me know if you can hear it. And I, or just because it's like in and out. Hold on. He ain't got no audio. Oh, you can't hear him? Hold on. 1 sec. Let me see. Yeah, try talking now.
Yeah, let me know if you guys.
Oh, yeah, you can hear him now, actually, perfectly. Yeah, there you go. Let me know if you guys can hear him, actually, now. Yeah, because you know what it was? I had the desktop audio off. Oh. I told you guys, yo, I haven't streamed in a while, man. So here we go. Okay.
All right.
That's good.
I'll be running back.
That's awesome. All right. So, we'll run it back. Basically, that's pretty funny, man. So the whole thing regarding Marco and stuff, and we got to see him and everything. What were your thoughts on just basically seeing him again after, technically for you haven't seen him in 8 years. I haven't seen him since 2013, since I caught up with the story afterwards. So yeah. For you, for the first time you've seen him in 8 years, what was your feeling basically just seeing the first commander of the Whitebeard, formerly of the Whitebeard Pirates?
That's like, so seeing him again was a treat, you know, because I like that he was always trying to jump in to help Whitebeard and Marine.
Yeah.
Help. And then he's like, nah, Marco, I got this. I'm like, come on, let me help. So yeah. Seeing him, being a doctor, all that made sense to me. And I like seeing these guys in different environments aside from the piracy. So seeing him kind of just chilling in the village where Whitebeard was born and stuff, it caught me off guard, but I loved it. I loved every bit of it.
Dope. And then like the stuff we got, like, you know, with the hints, you know, between Miss Bakken and Whitebeard having some form of connection like 40 years ago, being on the same ship and stuff. Like when you got that, did you care a lot about that? And like, you know, obviously because we got the stuff from Rocks and everything from like Reverie, did you feel like right off the bat that's a connection that you see that's gonna have with Rocks afterwards, or you think that's something separate?
And I'm like, I need to know.
Yeah.
Is there a connection? So yeah, I mean, I was like trying to like crackhead research, like, all right, so Shaky, and then you got Garp. I'll try to.
Yeah.
I definitely was with it.
Definitely. I was gonna say, like, I think because the audio was kind of like going in and out a little bit, but I got the gist of everything you were saying. Yeah, but don't worry. But so then we got that afterwards, and then the whole thing regarding like Blackbeard and everything. You know, obviously Marco couldn't do nothing about it. Blackbeard is just a different animal in itself. But I need to ask you, because obviously this kind of ties back into Zoe. But like, do you still care to see what that battle was like, the Payback War, after the conversation with Marco, or it's something like, you know what, if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't.
No, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a snippet, I like to see it. I kind of feel like the reason why Oda off screens this kind of stuff is the top tiers can do when they go against each other. Right now, because think about what would happen if like he showed that like Akainu and Aokiji.
Yeah.
If you're someone that's anything, they're gonna compare it to something they did in that fight and try to be like, oh, he's weaker, or better, or stronger, or faster, whatever the case may be. So I think it's smart that he's doing that.
Definitely. Yeah, and then afterwards we got the whole stuff with him, like, you know, his feelings about Whitebeard and everything, you know, like the fact that this dude was out here, like, you know, taking their shares and everything that was there, but at the end of the day, he was funding back his hometown. I really love that stuff because it really adds more to Whitebeard's character. Like, if you guys have not seen the top 10 video I did for One Piece characters and stuff, Whitebeard's my number 9, and that chapter, when I read it for 909, it pushed him. He was already at number 10, but I moved him up to 9 just off that, man. It's just the fact that, like, yeah, like, you know, in the reality of things, it's like, yo, like, everyone gets their share, you know, what it is. But the fact that he was doing this for his hometown, like, he still had love for his people, even though he grew up as an orphan, didn't really have the greatest of life overall and stuff. But, like, just seeing that, I think, was definitely dope. And the fact that Marco still had gratitude towards him, because now it's like he's now taking care of everything that Whitebeard left behind, basically. And now the fact that we know that the graves aren't far off from like where the hometown is. I was always of the assumption it would be somewhere near Wano, considering that it might have an affiliation with Whitebeard as well, and like with Roger, since we know the place that they had sake and they're talking about the Willow D and everything most likely was there in Wano. So that stuff was definitely dope.
Now the Whitebeard stuff was like amazing because it like so one of my favorite movies, like Pirates of the Caribbean, and you know how you know how like Jack would be like, you know, he was a pirate but he was a good man. That's kind of how I feel about Whitebeard. Yeah, he was a pirate, but he was a good man.
Definitely.
So I like getting that extra tidbit of him like always helping out his village and stuff, and even though he came from like humble and hard beginnings, like the man, I love it. It's great, man. Whitebeard top 5 forever.
Well, I mean, I can't disagree with that at all, man. Because like Whitebeard as a character, man, like he was just honestly one of the like Marine 4. Like when I got to see, like even way back, man, going back to like, you know, not Logtown, freaking Jaya, and just getting like to see him the first time, man. This big ass old man and stuff, just like chilling, having a great time, yo. Telling Rockstar like, yo, you some mid, go home, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's like, yo, what are you on,
Never
bro?
heard of me? You got 92 billion bounties. Like, who is this Brad?
Bro, and it's like now it's like when we look at the bounties now, it's like, bro, this man had to be rocking some mad bounty, bro. Like something crazy. Like even then, I still need to see what the uncles are like their bounties, which we'll probably get into at some point. But it's like now when you look at it, it's like, bro, this guy was just an ant. Literally is an ant compared to Whitebeard, man. Just crazy. And then just like, you know, like now, like, and we're like, to kind of close off afterwards on the Marco stuff before we dive into the actual current opening and stuff. If you see Marco showing up, do you see him showing up at any point in Wano, or you felt that was good enough to say, you know what, he's good, we don't need him right now in Wano, even though they want to recruit him, but you think like he's good where he's at, considering we're probably gonna get more allies and stuff, or you think he'll somehow show up between like one of the other acts like later on?
I think should he find out that Luffy is in like serious danger, he'll come up, mostly because, you know, the Ace's will, like his flame is carried on through Luffy and Sabo, especially Luffy, and look at what they did to like protect him on Marineford when he was like kind of like out of it, right? So I think if he heard something, at the very least he would show up. He would come.
Definitely. Okay. If you have to make a prediction, like based on one of the acts, you have to say, like, you would think like maybe you would say Act 4, because I roughly would say that's like around like where the big battles with Kaido and all that stuff will go down.
Yeah, like if we're going, but I think they said it would be a 5-act thing based on
like actual Japanese plays. Yeah.
Act 4 sounds about good. Middle of Act 4, beginning of Act 4, late in Act 4, around that time.
Definitely, it's good. This one thing. All right, so Now that we got that stuff done with Marco, but even then, man, shout out to the Phoenix man himself. Greatness. We gotta open up that curtain, bro. We gotta open up the curtain, man. We get the banjo.
We're playing the ukulele.
Ukulele, legit. We get the ukulele opening up, man, the curtain, and we get to see the beauty of something I've waited to see since my high school days, man. Wano Country. For you, I know it's gotta be a long ass time. So just getting to see this, like, what did you feel when you turn that page and you just seen that double spread of just like this woman playing on her ukulele, jamming it out, and then just seeing like Wano Country right there and then, man.
I was like, oh my god, we're here, like we're doing this. All right. So I was like, you know, it's a beautiful double spread, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy. I love it, and just like it was just drenched in Japanese culture. Like I'm like, oh yeah, he's definitely been waiting to do this. I can't wait to get into it. I will say, it like I let myself not enjoy this chapter as much as I should because I was so invested in Reverie. So I kind of felt like, no, go back. But what? Wano 10.
Yeah, that was the feeling too, because it's like after getting the stuff of M, like again, the Gorosei just bowing to M, it's just like, bruh, like we really about to make this move right now. But it's like I'm fine with it, especially now knowing what we know now up until like 924. It makes kind of sense that we'll probably get touched into that afterwards with the Reverie stuff. But like, yeah, I definitely felt like how you were a little bit. It was like, you know, we got to see it. Like initially I was hype as hell because it's like, bro, I've been waiting for this literally since like high school. So it's just like getting to see it now. It's just like, it's so dope, man. But the scenery is just so beautiful. You know, Franky, Usopp, Robin doing their thing. Shout out to Robin, man. Listen, I know geishas don't get the true respect that they deserve, even though I know the title isn't the prettiest and all that, but it's like, hey man, she rocking that kimono, like her life depends on it, man. Like I think like I always want to talk to you about this because I know like for Robin, best girl in One Piece, and it's like how did you feel with that? Like you seen like how her persona has now become post time skip, where we're getting to see more of her character and everything. Like when you saw her, like, you know, she's actually like sweating and like, you know, trying to actually like, you know, make an effort and making sure everything here works out for her. Like how'd you feel about that?
I love it because, like I said, like I'm one of the people who talk about like static and dynamic characters and how, you know, One Piece characters tend to be more static. But Robin is like one of the easiest characters you can make the argument where like she's completely the Robin you met in Alabasta. It's not the Robin in Wano.
Yeah,
it's not the same person.
Definitely.
And the thing about it that's great for me is if you paid attention. You can see the little slowly her becoming more and more like a Straw Hat, and for me it really started in Thriller Bark with the docking.
Yeah. I ain't doing this. Yeah, she look at Sanji like, nah, bro, we're not playing this. We're not running that play. But
she's like, so like seeing her work hard and everything is great, man. Like remember like in Zoe when they're like, yo, you're dangerous because you can read Pony List. She's like, don't worry, I got my Nakama here. Like, that was a big line because they get, like, in contrast to what happened earlier in Enies Lobby when they just, like, CP9 and she, like, lost her shit and not betrayed them, but, you know, did her own thing.
Yeah.
You can see how far she's came. So
definitely.
That's why, like, she the GOAT.
That's why I always look at it with the Straw Hats. It's like what you were saying before. Like, they have to have like a personality or show that, like, you know, they are a Straw Hat as per se. And I felt like obviously after Enies Lobby, like Robin's slowly opening up, which I kind of like that kind of storytelling from Oda. It's not like she's all of a sudden coming out and being like, you know, her like, you know, like crazy, like, you know, let's say the face we saw recently from her, right? Like we're not seeing that face coming off like, you know, I want to live. Like we're not seeing that. So like I like the fact that like it's like a slow build up afterwards to actually getting her to do that. And like I felt like really started to come to fruition was just Rosa, but just seeing that in itself, like where she's like showing her emotions more and more, like I'm really hoping that we get to see kind of like what we did in Just Rosa, where she's opening up more, but like on a grander scale. And I think the face that we saw, which we'll definitely talk about more into that, really does speak about that. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember, she used to refer to everybody by their roles on the ship.
Yeah.
Right? Then after Enies Lobby, she started calling them by their names.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, the stuff with the Tontada, and then Kanjiro's trash drawing, and she's like, "No, don't go away."
Yeah, she's crying for the dragon and stuff. Yeah, and then, I feel like Oda's a sickle for that because of the fact that she did that, and then the next page she turned over the dragon, and we know for a fact that Robin, like, she was working with like the revolutionaries. So like, does that say anything there? Because like, especially like fact that like Dragon, you know, was like so worried about Robin when he thought she got bagged and it was the other Robin and stop holding stuff. Like
that shit was funny, man. I love it.
Oh man, but yeah, then we get all the other stuff that was there. We know Usopp, you know, was a toad oil merchant.
Hey.
I was like, I'm thinking, I'm like, of all the things, like, I get it, okay, you'll be a merchant, a total, bro, what do we put it, are we putting it on bread? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, what the fuck do you put it on? Like,
it's probably got some Japanese use that we don't know about.
I don't know. I know what. At this point in time, I'm not gonna question it, bro. If it makes you money, if it makes you bellies, bro, it's all good.
Get the bag.
But I need your help on this one because I forget the dude's name. But Franky, he's working with that dude with the nails up his nostrils. You remember the dude that fixed up the door and stuff all the way back in the Romance Dawn? With a boom.
Oh yeah,
it starts with
I can't remember his name.
I don't know, some of the but with him, like, so when we're gonna go more into him with his the fact that we know he built Kaido's mansion and stuff. Like when we got to see him again, were you like, oh shit, like Oda's bringing back like old characters? Like, did you realize right there and then like that was the same dude from then, or like it was one of those you have to look up and see like, oh, what the hell is this dude? Like, why people are like talking about him and stuff.
Him specifically, I recognize. Like, I know Moda, like back in when they introduced the revolutionary captives, I didn't recognize her.
Yeah,
at the first glance. Him, I recognized only because like it was weird. I had a conversation about him like maybe 2 days prior to the chapter coming out, and I was like, wait, what? I like looked in my own book, like, is this the same guy? Am I tripping? And it was it. So yeah,
I don't think it's crazy, bro. The man has like not like his nostrils are being pierced by nails, but he out here building Kaido's mansion, like. All right, but like, and he got there quick. Like he was at Romance Dawn 1 point. I think he was in Ennie's Water 7 at 1 point too. No, because he was fixing something as well, from what I remember. And then after that, he goes straight to Wano, which that in itself is crazy. Because bro, he like going to the new world, knowing we know about the weather conditions and stuff. It's like, yo, how the hell did you get there? Like Kaido flew him out. Like he flew him out private jet.
That work. Don't worry, we got the escorts.
Yeah, bro. I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. And then we go close off 909 afterwards with the Zoro stuff. So we'll briefly go through it so we can like move the pace up. But what did you think of like the whole thing with Zoro? Like, I obviously, everyone knows how I felt about it. That was some GOAT material, like little knicker blade thing, like ticker thing that we got on it, and he's cutting buildings, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but what did you think of that? Like the little tick of a blade, like he's out here doing this, like.
It was nice to see him again after a while, so I was happy to see him. And I like how they almost immediately addressed the sword stuff, because I was like, do they know? They're going to care? Like, I wanted to know. So, like, they're like, nah, you stole this. I'm like, okay, obviously he couldn't have stolen it. Look how young he is. But I like how it was immediately addressed. So I'm like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
It's like, when it comes to these kind of plans, when it comes to Zoro and Luffy, they ain't following the plan.
That's big facts, yeah.
I was even shocked that Zoro was the one that kind of like, all right, well, now I'm a Ronin.
Yeah, bro. It's just like, I love it. Like, he literally is a vagabond at this point, basically. And I you know, like, but I did feel like, but I don't know if you felt the same way about this, but you know, like how he got Shisui back, like a Shisui back, like right away. It's just like, did you feel like it was kind of weird? Like he just got it back, like he just teethed it and just dipped, like.
Nah, because no one there should be able to stop him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, because we know the sword was in the other dude's, the magistrate's hand and stuff, and like, you know, he just comes in, jumps in, run, take it, and like, because I kind of hope that's where the anime kind of like explains that a little bit more, because I feel like he just cut him and then he just has it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at least I explained that. Like, you know, he literally ran, took it, and just made a run for it. Where is he running to? Raftel. I don't know. Like, I don't even know where he's going now. Like, to tell you the truth. But
Zoro gonna be like, wait a minute, what island am I on? Elbaf.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. So it's like, you know, Zoro and Ape, but that's my goal. So getting that stuff afterwards, we know he becomes a Ronin. Everyone else is literally following the plan. He's not. And then we go over to see Luffy, you know, 1.5 billion. Just like getting that whole stuff afterwards with like, you know, the crew coming back, you know, with the whole Cake Island crew and stuff. Just getting to see like the stuff with the bounties, or like, you know, the whole thing in the newspaper regarding like the confrontation between Big Mom and Kaido afterwards. Like, do you still feel like we're gonna like any other details from that part do you see being like talked about still in Wano, or do you think that's probably gonna be saved for like post Wano stuff?
I feel like most of that stuff will be saved. I mean, some of the Reverie stuff that we saw obviously will be addressed in a Reverie if you go back at any point.
Yeah.
There was like the parts of the newspaper. I can't remember if this was the part where it had the Vegapunk part about it, or was it the Weevil in this chapter? Where he like, if you look at the newspaper closely, like Weevil's on something of the sort. But yeah, all that stuff will be addressed. But I don't know if it's gonna be addressed now. But if it's not related to Kaido specifically and like Oden and what happened in the Wano, maybe we'll save it for later.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Because he doesn't like to overcomplicate things too much, right? So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and even like we were saying before, like the Weevil stuff, I think that was what 903. So 9-10, where they were talking about basically like with the conversation with Big Mom and Kaido, the stuff with like, you know, all the guests and stuff who was there at Reverie. So I figured like because like everything's still going at the same time, I guess no real big conflict in the Reverie itself has happened just yet. So I guess like within the 2 weeks we'll probably end up having to hear something, because by that time Reverie's gonna be like long done by then. But
about the art though, like
in this chapter,
for like the water and stuff, because it's based off that famous Japanese painting of the wave, the way he had drawn the waves for Wano and stuff, and those like specific type of fish. I can't remember what it was. Someone was telling me what kind of fish it was. But
I think they're koi, but when I remember saying it the first time, I called it carp, and that's completely different fish. Completely different. I only got one letter right. Everything else, nah. But they were kois, and that's actually really cool because the fact that you can tell Oda really put an effort into trying to make it as close as it can be to the actual thing, and even then be like, I guess like the actual, like I was just saying before, the actual Japanese paintings, trying to make it as close to the actual art thing, but still keeping it like retain the manga form. So definitely his art was on point. And I like we were also saying too, like in terms of like it really opened up the way we look at, like, you know, it ain't easy getting into Wano. Now we kind of like obviously factor in the samurai, which we'll get into afterwards, but like in terms of like navigating yourself into the country, it's just almost impossible if you don't have a good navigator to get you through like the whirlpools, the goddamn like, you know, Niagara Falls basically. You know, saying Niagara, they're going Niagara Falls up on this thing, and it's just like.
And the damn octopus. Yo.
Okay, this is where we need to get to it, because I wanted to bring this up at some point. That octopus, you think he's gonna be important coming up afterwards? Because I feel like he has to be.
I could see why. I would have put it past Oda, but I didn't give him second thought until people kept saying like, "Yo, the octopus." Though I'm like, all right, maybe I can see it though,
bro. But it was so gold, bro. This man literally just pulled up from the side. That's the thing. I was reading this chapter, I didn't even notice Mans was already like snuck on the ship and everything. As soon as I saw him represent Nami, like, wait, what is this bro doing here? Like. And she had that like the comedic face and everything, like, yo, what? Like, man's just pulled up, but
the tie in his hair, like when they're making sushi or whatever the hell it is. I can't remember what it is. He's like, I'm like, bro, this guy's swagged out.
I'm just like, bro, this guy's coming out here with literally he just came out with the drip. Like he was out here swimming with the drip, and just like now he's coming out here and like doing this. Like I feel like there has to be some kind of importance there. I don't know if like maybe it's a character we have seen already, and that's probably just, I don't know, because if it's not a Del fruit. Because, I mean, if it was a Del fruit, like, poor boy would be drowning right now. So, like, a humanoid, like, octopus, I don't know. Like, it's so weird to say, like, what the hell this thing, like, what kind of connection it's going to have for us, like, later on afterwards. But, like, I don't think the story for this octopus is done yet. And I really hope it's not, because that would be, like, especially because now we're going to dive afterwards into the 9/11 stuff with, you know, the crying. It was crying, I think, at one point when he was grabbing Luffy. So, we'll get to there. But. And then when we got to that, like, obviously, of course, double spreads were phenomenal. But us getting into actual Wano with Luffy landing in afterwards with 1,000 Sunny afterwards. Like, how did you feel? How did you like that? Like, we just landed right on a beach in Wano. Like, was that what you felt like that's how it was going to be? Or were we literally going to be, like, in front of, like, a whole bunch of people?
I thought it was gonna be like it's okay to me because like the literal weather phenomenon is what makes Wano hard to enter. I had imagined like a bunch of samurai just like guarding the whole island, like nah, no one's getting in. Like no one's getting in here unless you're allowed in. But I'm okay with it. I just like how we got straight to the point. Like, boom, we're on Wano. Because even at first I'm like, are we on Wano? Like did Luffy just the ape? Like, oh, the sword, we're on Wano. I'm like, that's not good enough. But I liked it because we kind of got straight to the point, and then we got straight into the action with like, well, we'll get to that, but like he didn't really waste any time when he landed on. Yeah,
definitely. It's not like he just went some random little like, kind of like a green bit basically. Like he didn't do like one of those, and then it's like, oh, like here, you know, are we here? Like we're not too far off. Like we actually got in there. And then this stuff, like, because to me it was like weird because I remember like the week this chapter came out, there was like people already saying like, you know, is Luffy on the same level as his baboon? But by the way, shout out to Captain Valen and Captain Yolric for subscribing, appreciate that. But in regards when we saw the baboon, right? Did you think like this baboon for whatever reason was gonna give Luffy some kind of tussle? Because I remember I was seeing some wild stuff at the time where people were like, yo, this baboon might be it, bro. These might be the samurais that be talking about in Wano that are kind of spooky. Like, what'd you feel about that?
Oh, I didn't think the baboon wasn't gonna give Luffy trouble. Especially, it's like, bro, you just fought Katakuri. Like, I wasn't gonna go there.
Yeah, bro. So it's like it's crazy, bro. Because like I've already seen that the first time. Like, but then it's like I don't know because then the monkey was kind of spooky too. Because the fact that like we kind of thought the sword was talking to it, and then afterwards it was kind of just revealing the speech bubbles were kind of different. But what'd you feel about the whole like thing with like the baboon, and then of course like Komainu and stuff, which now Komainu obviously has like a longer role right now with us.
It was cool. I just like how like I can't remember what that dog is supposed to be called. Is it called a Komainu? You have to name it.
I think his name is Komainu. You know what, chat? Let me know, because I remember it's Komainu in the name, but I don't know if like what the actual term of what he is.
I think it's like a Japanese Shinto guard for a shrine or something.
Yeah,
because one of the things where I'm starting to see more and more of the Japanese culture being sprinkled into this.
Yeah.
So that's what I was there for. That's why I was enjoying it.
Yeah,
it's like
because I was gonna say, because you remember like when we saw like that color page Oda did with like the Wano stuff with the guy with the girl and stuff with the archer stuff on, and it was like that dragon like thing, not dragon but the tiger like thing that was right behind him. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe something like that per se. So I'm saying like maybe that makes sense, like that's what it was, but then obviously like they kind of changed the name up on that, so I was kind of like I was a little confused on that, but yeah, of course, definitely tying in with the Japanese stuff. But man, and then we get that, and then daughter of the year, that's crazy, bro. She beat Eri all in one chapter. That's nuts. That is insane, bro. Like, daughter of the year, man.
That was great, man.
I love her, man.
Tom was great.
Because this girl
gotta have a heart. Have a heart, man. Tom was great.
She pulled up, bro. Like, she's but first of all, like, it was hilarious as hell with Luffy, like on the beach and stuff. Like, he's complaining, like, where the hell the Reverie card stuff wins, like in the ocean. That's why I thought that octopus was gonna be important. Like, he teethed it. But then, like, him coming in, beating up, like, the lizard-looking thing, which I was, like, dying the whole time, like, reading this. Because it's like, this guy thought he had I'm like, this is a grunt. He literally thought he had a chance. He got smoked on sight.
Yeah. And then I felt like the strike was preemptive, too, where Luffy's like, nah, I see you. You ain't going to. Because, like, if you look, right, closely, Luffy's already appearing beside him when he's, like, trying to lock on and shoot him. Like the attack where I'm like, he's showcasing his improvement here. He's like, nah, you ain't want to snipe me. Because Luffy has a tendency to kind of let his guard down, But like, he's like, nah, I see you.
Yeah, and even then, it's like, it doesn't have to be like a big thing, like whatever. It's like just to kind of show you basically, like basically like where like he is jumped right now since the Katakuri fight. Like, it doesn't have to be like facing a top tier and like doing that, but just a little thing to show you like how he's already increased himself since Whole Cake Island. Like, we know, like, first fact, Luffy's already leveled up, but obviously things changed in 923 and 924. So but it was dope to see at least that, like, there's those instances of it changed the game definitely for him. But then so Tama coming in the bag, right? So literally she was in her bag. Like, she literally was. I was dying the whole time because it's like, bro, she comes out here with the club afterwards, knocking out.
She knocked that bad out.
Yeah, bro. Like, she watches the MLB, man. So or Diamond Ace, should I say? She's been watching her anime as she should. But I was dying. This girl's just coming in. She's like, hands up in the air. I'm like, this girl is gold, man. I don't care what it says. That's I'm putting the adoption papers out. We stand in Otama, man.
Okay, can I point out something that's extremely useless trivia, but I noticed it immediately? Luffy has not had his hands in his pocket for a long time.
Okay.
His hands in his pocket. He has not put his hands in his pocket for such a long time. When he's like, hands in the pocket, Luffy back?
Yeah. I actually didn't notice that too, because like I never really like pay attention to those little details of like Luffy, like if he has like a hand in the pocket or like, so that's interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and look, because wait, did it, like in like the other arcs, like he's done that too, or he just had his arms flinging around?
Sorry, say that again?
No, I'm saying, like, in terms of him like having his hands in his pocket, does he always do that, or is just like once in a while he'll do it?
It was mostly in East Blue when he walked around and stuff. He'd have his hands in the pocket in the jeans. Yeah. Usually now he's always running or being an ape.
You know what also signifies too? I don't know if you feel the same way, but normally when people put their hands in their pockets, usually they feel uncomfortable about something, about where they are, certain areas. But then once, usually, like, if you're cool or you're fine with like being in a certain place, you just have it open because like there's nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of like interpret it as sometimes. But do you feel the same way or no?
No, I think he's just chilling. He's not. He's just chilling. He's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. You good? Don't worry. He's just chilling.
Bet. But man, Tom,
she was
the dong keep dongo, bro. I'm like, wait, I'm like thinking to myself, there's no way she's like related to Katakuri somehow. Like whatever, when I saw it the first time, it's like because they explained it as like a mochi, right? So it was like sweet dumplings made out of mochi flour. So I was like, nah, there's no way. Like so like she has like a similar power in a way to it, and then like, obviously now we know that her power is actually sort of important possibly for the long term of this arc, because the fact that if you're able to control, let's say, like, the animals, or per se like the was the pleasure. No, was it the gifters, right? That she can control.
The gifters, yeah, who have like the artificial zone.
And we assume that like the 500 people that Kaido has in his troops, majority of those people have to be gifters, right? So you can't see him having a whole bunch of headliners. There's like we now know obviously like he has a hierarchy. He doesn't want too many supreme kings within his group. So majority of them have to be the gifters. So. And this is kind of where I feel like Usopp's going to have some kind of play with her, where it's like she's going to create all these little dongles, and maybe he's going to use that to kind of control, like, you know, the gifters afterwards at some point. So that way kind of lessens the odds for us to have to like worry about so many people. So
I can see it. Just have him sniping them in the mouth with the dongles. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and then there's obviously another thing with Usopp I want to touch upon once we get deeper into it because of a revelation we got the recent chapter. But getting to see what's up with Tama afterwards, like again, daughter of the year, man. You know, she's kind of telling us like a little bit more exploration of like where we are and stuff and everything, like being in Curry, which was cool because like we had knew prior and stuff that like, you know, Kinemon, that's where he was from, so we were always wondering like, you know, what it would look like, and the fact that we were already sitting in it literally like was definitely dope. And then just getting to see that she isn't like a random bumpkin girl, like she actually has a connection to like the Kozuki clan as a supporter and all that kind of stuff, so it was definitely really dope. But because obviously I'm gonna ask this question afterwards when we get deeper into the time stuff afterwards in regards to Tama, because I don't know if you feel the same way about it, but we get into stuff with Komainu, and then he gets a name now, Babun Maru, the monkey dude, which it doesn't, it's like new member, like that's pretty much it. Oh, and his name actually, by the way, is Komachio. So Komainu is like what he is, but the name is Komachio. I'm just gonna say Koma.
Okay, well, all right, Koma.
So
Koma, baboon.
Yeah, and then like Luffy, so he goes and eats the food and everything that happens afterwards. I thought he was just a straight goon, like, yo, he's like, nah, I'm good, I don't need more food. You clearly tell, yo, this man wants more of that rice, man. Like, he's hungry. But that whole stuff afterwards, we're getting to see, like, you know, she doesn't eat like one. She only eats like what was it, her birthday, and then like with the new year when it starts, so 2 times a year basically. And then like that whole little thing, like, how did you start to feel about her? Because did you feel like right away, like if she's feeling this way, this is probably what other kids are probably feeling in Wano, or you just felt like that was just her?
It's just one of those things where it's like clearly what Kaido was making this place really hard to live. I mean, at the time I don't think I was thinking about everybody else until we got to Okobori Town and we really got to see it. But I was just like, bro, like the water isn't contaminated. They can't even drink the water. Like, that's crazy. He's just polluting everything. He doesn't care. And then seeing like the fact that she gave Luffy like her one little bowl of rice, I'm like, damn. And now obviously he's gonna feel bad about it. And then obviously the later revelations would make him more attached to her. But he knew she was a good kid because he's like, yo, she didn't have much, but she still shared it with me, kind of thing.
And I think,
you know, if you feed Luffy, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. Like you feed that boy, man, give him anything. You can give him like lint in your pocket, bro. He's good. Like he'll take it. But then you just see the connection afterwards with her and Ace. Now, for me, I've always been on the ball game until obviously now that we got what we got. Is that I've always been on the assumption that we're like, when we got the whole reveal that we're gonna get the episode of Ace thing going on in Wano, I've always felt since way back, since Marineford, that if Ace is somehow gonna come back somewhat in the story as his bloodline, he's gonna have a kid hiding somewhere. And I've always been the mindset it was gonna be in Wano. So when we got like the revelation of Tama and Ace and stuff, I'm like, okay, first off, I'm like, yo, if this is a kid, that's wild. Like a wild like secret you're keeping tucked. But obviously that's not the case. Like we know that they have known each other and stuff. You know, when this man pulled a Luffy, I don't think he intended to go to Wano. That's the crazy part. Like he just showed up. Like he just did the thing, got captured, got teeth for all his stuff, and then as soon as he was able to get out of the thing, he's like, "Yo, man, where can I go get a bite to eat?" Like, you know,
yeah, very much like just okay. You guys could eat. Like we could escape whenever we wanted, but you guys are good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. So just getting to see that, and like, what did you feel about the relationship between Tama and like Ace? Given like, you know, the fact that like they were with each other at least for a small part of time, or actually no, even before that, Luffy revealing to Tama right away about him being dead, because that was a big thing in the community that we were thinking, like, you know, like, is he just gonna tell her straight up? Is she gonna try to hide it through chapters? But open up 912 and right away he just says it, and it's like, how did you feel about that? Like how Luffy kind of handled himself in that scenario, like not just him talking about it with Tama, but like as himself. Like, you know, do you think like he kind of got over it, or like he's trying to suppress it still?
It's a kind of weird thing, but I think he showed a lot of maturity here. A, he's not a good liar, so if he lied, it would have been kind of obvious. And two, I think going through what he went through with Jinbei, telling him he has his Nakama, and knowing that Sabo was back and Sabo has his ability, those things have helped him cope with it. Like obviously it's gonna bother him. Like I could see him kind of seeing like a Kainu, like Blackbeard or Kainu and being mad when he sees knowing what happened. Like that's not gonna change. But he's had time to kind of cope and deal with it. You know, time heals all. I thought he made the right choice by just not hiding it, because you've been waiting here for 2 years for him. He's not he's gone. Like, I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if he was going to tell him that they were related or not.
Yeah, we haven't got that yet either, which is the crazy part.
Yeah. But how you gonna skip over Hawkins, bro?
Oh yeah, that's true.
The best for them.
All right, so because the thing is with Hawkins, we're definitely gonna be talking about that, because there's the idea that I have with him that I don't know if you're on the same wavelength or not, but in terms of when we got to see him on the beach, right? Pulled up everything, he was the headliner first and foremost, like right there, and then we knew like, okay, he's signing with Kaido and stuff. But I need to ask now, do you feel like he's 100% still on with Kaido, or you feel like he got a plan?
It's a ploy. It's a plot, man. He's not trying to stay a beast pirate. He's definitely like playing the game a lot more, like in terms of like, oh yeah, I'm super loyal, but I just no part of my being tells me that he's trying to stay a beast pirate. I think the only person to me that's legitimately like on that crew is DS Drake, based on him looking for him and being there still. I think he was the only one that's actually like part of the crew.
Okay.
I don't think Apu wants to stay. Obviously, Kid doesn't want to stay. I don't think Hawkins wants to stay.
Okay. That's interesting. I mean, on the Drake thing, we're definitely gonna be talking about, but that is interesting. But him kind of like hiding, you know, he's not gonna tell Kaido right away. Like, you know, there's an intruder on the Wano and stuff was very interesting and stuff. You know, because it's like that tells you right there he's gonna be trying to do something. So we get into 912. Him, you know, we had the explanation of like, you know, Ace being there and everything. The Amagasa village, of course, being taken out afterwards by Drake. Him being like a headliner like a year prior and stuff. You know, he was doing his own thing and everything. You know, taking down the village and stuff, which is pretty cool. The Amagasa was like that of like the hats and stuff, which I actually didn't take into like consideration after like kind of looking back, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, makes sense. And then of course, you know, we saw Law, you know, with his own drip, having his own Amagasa hat on too. So but like with Kaido, with Drake and stuff, like, so you do feel like he's the only one that actually is still gonna side with Kaido maybe until the very end, or like he looks like he is right, like he's with them, but then could change heart afterwards?
I mean, I could see them swing him, or if he's going down, he'll leave. But he's the only one in my mind that I seem like, yo, this guy is legitimately a beast pirate. He came looking for him.
Yeah.
Because they say, you know, to survive in the new world, one of the ways to do that is to work under a Yonko, right? Maybe he thought that was the best way to go about things. Could be temporary, but I don't know. It's hard to say, because I need to see him first and see how he kind of how he is in this situation and Wano and stuff. But I could see him. I actually like the idea that he's a calamity. I don't think that's the case, but I like the idea. If he's one, I would like that. That'd be dope.
Let me see. I think they're saying they're saying like my volume I don't think was up or not. I don't know. Let me know, you guys. Let me know if you can hear my volume properly, because I don't want to be like screaming in this thing by accident.
Yeah.
Let's,
and then seeing the Amagasa village stuff was cool, because it ties back into like when Ace was making the hat for Oars, Junior. So like, I didn't think the Ace stuff would come up so fast. So seeing all of that tie in quickly was good, man. I like it, and it gave Luffy more motivation to like help out Wano in general.
Definitely,
so, it's fantastic.
And then especially like, you know, we're gonna tie into afterwards like him returning the favor and stuff. But so let me see. So we got past like the Amagasa village stuff. It was up to the Nidai Kitetsu revealed, which I felt like that stuff was really cool. I mean, well, he got his own kimono and everything, so he got his own drip as well. I thought he looked really clean.
The top knot.
Everything. Yeah, I was like, yo, I was glad they actually added that, because it's like, if they put him with the kimono and he didn't have that, I would have been like, nah, man, that's just a bootleg costume you got rocking on and stuff. But it does look dope on him. Like, I know some people were kind of like, it looks goofy on him. Like, bro, who cares, man? That's probably the best like he looks right now post time skip. In my opinion, like the only thing that kind of comes close to, I think, is the flower stuff that he had like in Dressrosa, because I actually think he would look great in that. But the kimono stuff was definitely rocking. Him getting the Nidai Kitetsu, right? So, like, to you, right? Did you like what did you feel regarding that? Because when I saw that, I'm like, okay, Zoro's taking that. Like, Luffy ain't doing nothing with the sword, and then obviously we saw what he kind of.
Hey, you ain't see him use it? I used it.
Did he use it? Like,
that was awesome. Like, again, like a lot. People were saying it was slow, but I felt a lot of stuff was happening pretty fast.
Yeah.
The bladesmith Tetsu, like tying it back into Zoro Sword or something. Oh wow, like, already like also seeing that he's like a Tengu, more Japanese mythology and folklore being sprinkled into Wano. I like that a lot. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like he definitely, I think something might happen to the current one he has, and he's gonna replace it with this one. Maybe Wano, I think Zoro has to get pushed in this arc.
Well, he has to. I'm in agreement too. Like I don't know, like him taking a loss is like I wouldn't be upset about it, but it's like I need to see him actually try against them. Like actually,
a proper showcase because he's been coasting.
Yeah, just like it's like that's the thing. Like people would be like, like lads, like he's getting W's. I get it, but it's just like W's against like he's playing in the major leagues and these guys are playing in like the G League, bro. Like come on. There's a difference in like where they're at right now. Like my band's like averaging like 18 a game. These guys are barely getting playing time on the bench. Like, come on.
Yeah, like it's not that we're not downplaying him, but the quality of his opponents are like
it's not great. Yeah, and it's like that's where I kind of always been like, okay, even if Sanji had taken some losses, he's had way better opponents to go up against and stuff. And even again, if he didn't take the W, at least like there's a reason he lost to Doflamingo. He lost to this guy, like at least of noteworthy. Zoro beat a guy made of rocks and an 8-legged octopus. Like I'm like, bro, come on. Like the Monet stuff was raw, but then it's just like he does intimidation. Like I expect him to be doing that kind of stuff. Like
it is though. But it'll be his time this arc, especially since I think he's like gonna be lost for most of it.
Yeah, because with him, like I didn't get to talk too much into like about my predictions for Act 2, so I kind of want to talk about that afterwards with them. But so in regards to like the whole stuff with like Tama and like Ace, saying like if you become a bewitching kunoichi and everything, I'll come and take you with me on the journey and stuff. I know some people were looking at that like something's wrong with Ace. You gotta look him a little closely, but I'm like, listen, man, he's just trying to treat her nicely and everything after like what she's been experiencing the entire time. And like to me, it sucks so much, man, knowing that like you see that kind of connection that he had with her and everything. He's not here. And she doesn't, and she's saying all this stuff to Luffy, like, oh, he was the greatest. You have no idea what he was like. And I'm like, if anyone knows what Ace is like, it was Luffy. So that's why I'm just glad he didn't say it, like anything yet, because I feel like when that revelation comes that they that they were brothers and stuff, it's going to be at a very big moment. I think in this arc, honestly, I think that's what they're going to be setting up for, so that it kind of comes full circle on that relationship.
Exactly.
But, how did you feel like Oda how he handled it too? Because like I've always been of the mindset of like when you go into flashbacks, I expect to see more. But I did feel like what he explained here with Tama and Ace was really well done. Didn't have to be like super long. It was straight to the point. Like
it's nice. Brevity is fine. Nothing wrong with it. You don't need to go into super mega ultra detail. We can get the gist of it based on what we've seen. We've seen more than enough. I don't need it to be nerd explained and all text every battle. Okay, show me a little bit and it was good.
Yeah, and then like afterwards we got into scene like they break out the forest afterwards. They're gonna try and get a cure afterwards to take care of like with Tama and stuff. And then after we get to see like these croco sharks, all these like weird ass animals and stuff coming in. And then after that we get the reunion I've been waiting to see for so long, bro. Now here's the thing. I was reading this and I'm like, bro, I thought it was like a random swordsman. That's what I thought. I legit, there's no way that's Zoro, right? And then like you see him coming in, just jumps the dudes, knocks them out, and I'm like, wait, what the hell? And I'm looking, I'm like, wait, what the hell is this, bro? And then I'm like, and then I see at the end of the panel, it's like, hey, is that Zoro? I turned that page, yo, and I'm like, yo, first of all, he got his own like his drip as well. He took it from the store and dipped.
Yeah.
5-figure discount, bro. Shout out to him.
But what did you? He looks mad cool too, by the way.
Yeah, but what did you think of that reunion, personally, when you saw like how it was set up?
I didn't see it coming. It's crazy that the first person he reunited with in Wano was Zoro. The first, his first crew member. Dynamic duo, some Batman, Superman, world's finest team up. Like I loved it. It was great. It's just what we needed. It needed it. It's a time when people are like, how is this not exciting? Like this is so crazy.
Yeah,
like,
and it's just like it's the first time they've really been like. If you really want to go take it back, man, it's like since like the Morgan days that the last time they were actually with each other, like just them two. You know what I mean? Like, and I missed, like, I was going back and rereading the volumes, and it's like, I miss those days so much when it was just the two of them before Nami and Usopp and Sanji. It's just like, those days was just like, that's your first mate, bro. That's Roger to his Rayleigh. Like, I don't know. It was just such a beautiful moment. And then seeing, like, Hawkins pulling up afterwards, and then, this is when we went on break, so it was like, we had the debate, how, like, if it was a 2-on-1, we would think Hawkins would go down, but you were on the point that he was going to be fine. Hawkins, right? So, and then, obviously, going to 913, Sudo repays a favor. That is exactly how things go. Like, we see the beginning of the clash. You know, he has the tarot cards out. Shout out to Persona 4.
Hey.
Which is pretty gold, man. Because I was like, yo, when I saw that, like, okay, shout out to Persona, shout out to Yu-Gi-Oh, and shout out to JoJo, because Hawkins experienced some great series growing up as a kid. You know, that's the only person I can think of who respects those series in One Piece to that level. But we get to see them going at it afterwards. You know, Hawkins has his own people. Luffy, yo, this guy's an ape. Yo, he comes out here with the sword. He's like, yo, I'm about to cut these mans, and he's just throwing Gomu pistols with sword in hand. I love how Oda just like he just puts it out there, like the sword's right there, but
yeah, but using it. What's up?
But what did you think of that style though? Look of him just fighting like that. Like
that's just a Luffy thing. He's like, yeah, I'm in the Wano Country. Gotta use a samurai sword. He's like, but I don't know how to use a sword though, so I'm gonna just punch him while I hold it. And I was like, bro,
yeah,
incredibly Luffy. Like that's why I like this man. He's mad funny.
Yeah, and then it's just like now going into like Basil Hawkins, because we're definitely going to go into his ability. So, what did you think of like his dull fruit, like in terms of the it's a I forgot the name. I was going to say in the transition.
So like straw.
Yeah, so straw. Yeah. So like, what did you think of that? Was that what you expected his fruit to be, or something to do with like voodooism and stuff? Like,
I still think it's some way in shape or form like drenched in a little bit of like voodoo mysticism, but I mean, I feel like there's more to it. Definitely, we have to know how he makes these dolls. Like, there has to be a way. Like, does he need hair, DNA? What does he have to do to prepare for it, to make the 10 bodies for him to sacrifice and stuff? But it's cool that he can, like, kind of, I guess, like, has a straw sword and everything. We're seeing more applications of it. Because I thought maybe it was just that, you know, Gomu no So form plus, like, if you attack him, he can just pass off the damage. But I always found, like, his ability to be extremely cool. Back in Sabaody, I'm like, this is him and Law. I'm like, bro, I don't know what these do yet, but these are interesting abilities.
Yeah, so. Definitely. I just seen the chat right now. Yak's like ape to Luffy. Bro, this man. I mean, he's not lying. But his fruit though is definitely dope. I actually have like a video like I have literally in the can still waiting, like just kind of wanted to see more from Hawkins. So basically, it's kind of talking about I guess what like his plan is basically, and what like is gonna incorporate with his dull fruit and stuff. So I'm definitely gonna like after 925, I'm definitely gonna try and see if I can get that out, because like especially now getting to learn more about like how voodoo dolls and just like that whole process works. Now it's just like, okay, now I can maybe see a gist of what he might plan to do. Especially now getting to see more of Kaido and stuff. I think now it can make sense. So,
and if you think about like how, you know, he's the magician and kind of how a lot of his stuff is like drenched in mysticism and stuff. It's like he uses the tarot cards to make like predictions and stuff. Like, you know, a lady with a crystal ball and stuff. Like all of that is tying into his epithet really well, which is what I like about it too. So that's why I like, for those who don't know, like when the new supernovas were introduced, the person that I like took the liking to the most was Hawkins. That's why I always liked him. So I'm happy that he's getting good showcases here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, like it was going back, it was like Kid, Bonnie, Arouge. Like Kid, I just love like the fact that he's like true to the bone of what a pirate's supposed to be. Like an actual like doesn't give a shit. He'll go into your town, take your woman, your kids, and your money, and just that's what he does. Like that's a pirate, if I think so. Like, you know, I mean, Luffy obviously is like a different form of pirate. He actually saves people and stuff, so it's very different. Like even like when Zoro was saving like that one guy back in Sabaody, it's like Bonnie was like, you know, that's not what a pirate does. And I'm thinking like when you look at Kid, like he truly is like a pirate. Obviously, other ones have like some form of not compassion, but you know they'll look at like things from the other side. Kid don't. Like Kid, you can tell his personality. He don't care about that. He, you know, if you cross him, he coming after you, man. But
you're done. You're done.
But in terms of the Hawkins versus Luffy and Zoro fight, so what did you think of like? Because it's weird. Because when I look at fights, I expect it to be like a chapter of like just a fight, like as it is. But like if you were to consider this a fight, how did you like that between Hawkins, Zoro, and Luffy?
It's more of a brief confrontation or a clash more than it is a fight itself. But I liked it. It was it was like, it's one of those things where it's like, obviously they're at a disadvantage in a sense because they're outnumbered. Plus they have to get Tama to safety. So they kind of have to retreat. Like the priority is Tama not winning this battle. So with them having to protect her and kind of back away while he's attacking them, they're a little bit of disadvantage. But I also felt like he showcased like everyone in the worst generation is no trifling matter. Like Hawkins says that obviously I'm not gonna like, you know, like fight too fairly against two people from the worst generation head on. So he used that like straw stand thing. That was dope. Yeah. But Zoro also managed to like land a clean hit on him in the head too, right?
Well, I mean, he did, but then it's like he had the redirection thing, which that spooks me, man, because it's like he can't take damage if as long as he has like the puppets literally of those other people around him, like he takes no damage, and that's where I started to really like, okay, this man might be a problem, because it's like if you actually try to fight him in combat, as long as he has those things around him, and I'm thinking that's where I'm kind of thinking too, like, does that have to be his crew members? Like, as long as a certain radius, because we knew like in Sabaody it was a random dude that got pretty much taken out when Kizaru attacked them, right?
With the cargo,
yeah. So I'm thinking it doesn't have to be.
It has to be his crew. Like, what if he make one of like Usopp or something? That would be dangerous.
Yeah, like, and that's the scary thing is it's like you really can't really like think of what Hawkins is thinking, because it's like he could do that. Like, but there's just nothing to tell us that he wouldn't be able to do it. He doesn't have no affiliation with Luffy. He has no like care. Like, he has an interest because the fact that this man, his chances of dying always are at 0. That's the only thing you say. But he could do that. Like, that's what makes him scary. Is just like if you want to go to those extremes, man. Hey, Hawkins would do that. Like, yep. But just the clash and stuff was fine. I mean, thank God we got the explanation on the damn nails, because otherwise I would have to be fighting all these people telling me, yo, Zoro got taken out by nails. He's dripping blood. Like, bro, come on. He's protecting a child, man. Come on.
Hey, man, nails are a powerful tool.
They sea stone nails are a powerful tool. I agree. Which that's what I have to assume, but I don't know, because I have to look at that panel again, because I think the coloring on the nails from Law was a little different from the ones Zoro got hit. So Zoro might actually got hit by random nails. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then like the last thing before we move on to this is that again, I thought that Oda did a good job showcasing everyone's abilities, because like Hawkins' like stand thing has a lot of strength, and we know like in terms of just raw muscle power, Zoro is very strong. So for him to comment on that, you know that this shit is pretty powerful. But either way, he just kind of parried it and boom, one big ass slash. Not like he got overpowered by it, right? Yeah. So I felt like he's keeping that balance really well.
Yeah, because
I like that. Like, if it takes damage, so does Hawkins. So it's literally like a stand. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's good.
Yeah, and the fact that like it has like the good and bads about it too. Like, you know, like he can draw a good card, it'll help him out. If he can draw a bad card, like there's at least like a good and a bad thing about these things. It's not like, you know, he's just pulling out like, you know, Exodius and like he's always winning. You know what I mean? So it's just like at least you have that where it's pretty sick. Where like, you know, he can have a good day, he can have a bad day with these cards and stuff. And even then too, like, you know, when they escaped afterwards, then I started to look at him like, you know what, like, you know, he's hiding something. He's not chasing after him and stuff, you know, he's listening to the cards. So like that, and then like, the whole thing with like Suru afterwards showing up, like what did you think of just getting to see her? Because listen, man, but when I saw her the first time, I was like, okay, they're helping her out, but I didn't think I would care about her as much as I do by the very end of Act 1. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's just like, yo, like she, like as of the subplots we've got so far in Wano, I need the resolution between Kinemon and her. I need it bad.
I feel you on that. The thing that struck me is about her that made her really important off the bat to me was that she looks like that painting again, like another painting that you see in Japanese like culture, like the way she was drawn. She looks like that painting, I think. So it struck me as like, okay, why you draw like that?
Yeah.
Right? So she got to be important. Did I think she was going to be related to Kinemon and stuff? Absolutely not.
I don't think anyone could
serve as a complete side character. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, you know, we thought like at least Kiku, based on the way they were interacting, but that was where the curveball was thrown in, and I struck out. Like, I'm like, yo, shit, like Suru and Kinemon, that makes a lot more sense now. But now we're going into Kiku, right? Because obviously Yorishima will talk about, you know, his thick neck and the ass whooping he caught. But what do you think of Kiku, man? Because we have to put her as the thumbnail and stuff for the stream. But your thoughts on Kiku?
I like her a lot.
Yeah,
I like her a lot. I like that they're displaying that she's strong. I mean, there's some weird things where she keeps getting captured. I'm like, I don't know what's up with that, but like she's strong, she's big. I like that she's like pretty tall.
Yeah, I was like,
and she's compassionate too. So I always like that like balance of like people who are strong, compassionate, not overly serious, stuff like that. Because you know me, I'm a proponent for goofiness, right? So the goofier you are, the better. Especially if you're mad strong, I like that more than like the overly serious type. So her being kind of like compassionate, nice, and kind, but still getting down to business is cool. I like her.
Yeah.
She had a great display.
That's what I'm saying, man. Because it's like when we saw her sitting down right beside Zoro and like Luffy, I was like, yo, she big. Like, yo, I was like, yo, she could be in the NBA if she wants.
Zoro was like, you are a huge one.
Yo, she's blocking this man shot anytime, man. That's crazy. But I really do like her character a lot. Like, as you're saying, a lot of the points on how compassionate she can be and stuff, and not to mention she can hold her own in a fights and stuff. Like obviously, like the showcase that we got to see afterwards, in Bakura Town with them going after the Hiroshima stuff, trying to hold their own. The top knot definitely. Like I know a lot of people were like, y'all getting hyped for a top knot, and it's like, dude, you take off somebody's top knot is like chopping someone's dick off. Like that's sacred. You don't do that. You know what I mean? So like her doing that is just amazing. Yeah, it was just like it was one of those things that's like, holy crap! Like she's really about to smoke. She wants it.
I feel like we can get into this too, because like with the next chapter when he's like bandaging her up and the jab beyond grass healed her mad quick, and she's like, I'm gonna run to the water. I'm dishonorable. This arc is drenched in that whole kind of samurai warrior honor code, seppuku, all of that stuff is here. So it's like crazy for me, because she was really about to go. I'm hungry. How could I be hungry? I'm about to go. Like, we just saved you. How you gonna go drink the poison water?
I gotta say this real quick, because listen, anytime we get some LeBron slander in here, man, I always be appreciative. Sasuke Savage is like, I got O-Kiku dunking on LeBron for a dub. I see that happening, man. This guy, LeBron's gonna be trying to post up in the paint, and Kiku is gonna be like JaVale McGee, man, just like dunking. Like, no, not even JaVale, because JaVale's on his team, but like literally like almost like a Jokic, basically. Literally just like dunking right onto LeBron. I need that. Okay, someone can make a gif of like Kiku's face on Jokic dunking on LeBron. Hey, man, greatly appreciate it. But definitely. But Kiku, I think she's definitely one of my favorite characters so far in Wano that we gotten to see. Like just her whole portrayal, and like I know she like people are kind of like weird about her and stuff, where she's like, is she gonna be like a damsel in distress and stuff? Always gonna have to be captured. Like I was laughing about those parts, because it's like, yo, why aren't you protecting her? Like all this stuff is going down, you're letting her just get captured. But I feel like it's more of a comedic thing. And then like the Zoro stuff was like, I don't attack naked men. I'm like, huh? Like where this coming from? Like, so it's just like, yeah, I mean, like she's definitely awesome. I mean, it's more comedic stuff definitely with Oda. But I know I was about to gloss over these guys, but your thoughts on Gazelle Man, Batman,
Bruce Wayne.
Yo,
top 3 so far. You top 3, okay?
I'll tell you right now, man. The reason why this man put Batman in that chapter was for the sake that he knows he's surpassing Batman as the second comic of all time. I'm just saying, he knows, man. But Superman afterwards, but
light stab. But I want to say, like, I feel like we got a lot of the comedy One Piece has kind of, not that it was been missing.
Yeah.
But we had to kind of put it to the side a little bit for a little more of the serious stuff, and I felt like Wano has brought back a lot of like the comedy where like I missed it. Even just like you're big, like oh, Big Mom's bigger and the stuff with like Otama and stuff, and then everything like it just he's bringing back all of that comedy, the comedy aspect that I like. And speaking of Batman and stuff, he's letting them arrows fly.
Yeah, he was honestly, man.
Letting them fly.
Yeah, but man saved Suru's life and stuff, man, because it's like.
I was badass final.
That arrow probably would have pierced her. Like that would have been like a scary moment if like she just got smoked right there on sight, and then like Kinemon just finding out, she died. Like that would have been crazy. But there was one part I glossed over, and listen, man, Tama, if you're watching this, I apologize. I did not talk about her getting the porridge and eating it and stuff, and just being like, this is the best day of my life. I like at this point, Tama is like top 2 for Wano right now, man. I absolutely love her, man. Like. Just getting to see that, and not to mention, like, kind of like if this is what she's feeling like, then this is what the other kids in Wano are feeling like. And I loved how Suru was kind of explained too, like with Commodore Town, the town of leftovers in comparison to the Bakura Town, is that you have the people there in Bakura Town who are living, at least like middle class to like, they're getting stuff at the very least. They're getting their own provisions and all that, and everyone else is getting the scraps. Commodore Town literally mean like the leftovers. So like. I really did appreciate the game to see that for her, because like she literally has 2 meals a day or 2 meals a year basically, and it's just like.
Okay. Think about how something as simple as a meal like that or an apple. It's like it's like a luxury to her, to the point where Luffy's like, bro, it's crazy. Like she can't eat normally. Like this is trash. Even though he's under the impression that he can handle poison because he's older. That's not how it works. Because he has antibodies, and Zoro just a strong ape. Because remember Zoro was eating and he's like, oh, that's why I can get a stomach.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, like come on, bro. Like, that's the only time they'll say if he gets in a fight with Orochi and he starts getting weak, I blame that damn fish and him. That's the only way I'll say they take the L. But Batman, Gazelle Man coming through. They rob my daughter, and I mean, at this point, like this is where we knew, like obviously there's gonna be some more importance to Tama and stuff. We were talking about prior, like with the Dango and stuff, maybe with the Gifters. They may end up doing that to kind of, I guess, like try and sway members of Kaido's crew not to fight them and stuff. So there's definitely that importance there. Kiku, Luffy, Zoro gunning on top of a Koma, aka Komainu and stuff. as they're heading into Bakura Town. They were hyping up afterwards, like, you know, like the 3 headliners being like Hawkins, Holdem, and Speed. Getting into like actually the stuff with like Holdem and Speed, because I know we're gonna obviously jump into like, you know, the stuff with Urashima afterwards, since we kind of talked about it. But what did you think of like the headliners? Have you been impressed thus far? The ones that obviously aren't like Hawkins or like, you know, the actual people who are Kaido's crew. Have you been impressed thus far about them, or do you feel like, you know, you expected a little more?
It's to me, it's not the fact that they're whack or weak or whatever the case may be. It's like the caliber of opponent they're facing is above them. They're not messing with Zoro. They're not messing with Luffy. They're not messing with these guys. Like, they're probably got a little bit complacent with the levels of enemy they're facing. I feel like a lot of Yonko's crew can get complacent because they're on a Yonko's crew, right?
Yeah.
So like all that stuff makes sense to me. But like, think about it. Like, did you really expect Luffy to struggle with somebody like Urashima or Holdem after he just beat Katakuri?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense. So it to me, it's fine. Like, I don't want to disrespect the headliners or whatever the case may be, but it's like, this is Luffy. And the fact that they don't even know who he is is a bad sign anyways. It's like they're not informed. It's like you should see Luffy and know, like, this guy just what just happened with it. So that we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I kind of want to talk about how Wano gets their news and how it works in a sense.
Yeah.
Later. But yeah, I mean, like, no, I'm fine with the headliners and stuff being like getting one shot about Luffy. They should be. It's Luffy.
Yeah, I was gonna also say this real quick too, because I just put this in the chat right now. I'm gonna be opening up a Cash App soon. If you'd like to donate for my daughter Tama, you know, get her a good meal and stuff, you know, at least 24/7, 7 days a week, I greatly appreciate it. Cash App will be set up soon. Details in a little while. But honestly, man, like, so where were we at? I just had to put that in there, man. So, you know, it is what it is. So we got like the Holdem and everything. Okay, so Urashima. So.
Oh, wait, real quick, can we talk about like Law's immediate stress?
Oh yeah. So he's So this is what I love. I'm proud of this too. So he's just chilling. Like, that's the thing I love too. Like, I know some people kind of like looked over it, but like, you know, the way he was like postured, like he had like his leg crossed over. He's just like chilling. He was relaxed. And then Beppo and him coming like, hey, by the way, Luffy's in Bakura Town. You're about to be able to run up on some people. And he like, huh? Like,
Law's like, Law got an immediate migraine. He's like, oh,
yeah.
God.
He's like, bro, you know what kills me about that? Because you tell me you've seen it, bro. The Ralph from Ed and Eddie, where someone posted a blue Law.
He's like, all right, Luffy, this is the plan. We're not gonna. I know that's not Luffy fighting Kaido.
When I saw that pic, yo, that was crazy. They actually got the hat on and everything, like and he's like, yo, this man's like, it's like you can hear it in Ralph's voice. It's just like, bro.
Yo, Law's opting out this contract. He's not re-signing.
Yeah, bro. He's gonna go play for I don't know, man. He was playing for the Cavs. I don't know where he's going next, bro. He's going to Atlanta. I don't know, man. I don't know. He's not playing on the same team as Luffy, man.
Be like, you want the super max? He's like, nah, I'm good.
I'm good. Yo, give me a G League, bro. I'll take it.
Poor guy, yo.
But we were saying about the news and stuff, which obviously that I kind of actually want to talk about more deeper into the stuff, because I know in the recent chapter Kaido had brought that up and stuff, and I had something I want to talk about more, I guess, deeper into that afterwards. But we're gonna see Urashima, the sumo tournament stuff. What did you think about that? I personally loved it.
About what? Like what about him?
So like Urashima. So basically, like how we got, like, you know, they were having like the sumo matches. He's out here like battling people.
That was fun.
And because like, there was like a little thing I know some people kind of didn't take into consideration, because we always think, okay, like, you know, swordsmen and stuff, but they kind of talked about how there's actually a warrior system. And it's like, and to me, it's like there's more than just samurai you need to be worried about. Like, obviously, Batman being like an archer, Gazelle Man being, I don't know, like a close quarter combat. I don't know. And then
I'm thinking like Kunoichi, you got like Shinobi, you got
sumo wrestlers and stuff.
Samurai, sumo wrestlers, like things that are like warrior type of warrior people that are like drenched in Japanese culture.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just thinking, like, you know, it goes to show that there is more than just, you know, people just grabbing swords and just, you know, I got a black sword, I'm raw. Like, no, like, there's more to it after. You got spearsmen, all these kind of things. Like, I really liked how there's, like, that was kind of like Oda's way of giving you an emphasis of, like, yeah, there's more than just swordsmen on this damn island, like, you need to be worried about. And it does get show, like, even, okay, if they're not Flight Samurai level or anything, or, like, you know, when we go into tiers, it does show that there's still a problem. It's not like you can just walk onto Wano and just have a field day when you want. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be people you gotta be very careful about. And I love how, like, just based off that sumo wrestling thing, it's like there's more to it than just swordsman. So I did appreciate it. But what did you think of the match though between Luffy and Urashima? Because if that's a fight itself, yo, that's a fire fight.
It was great. And I think one thing a lot of people like didn't realize is that this guy was like palming people across across Wano.
Yeah,
like,
bro. Like his strength is
raw power.
Yeah.
He's definitely not weak, and look how casually Luffy caught him, right? So like, definitely he's not like as weak as people want to make him out to seem. But I like the callback to some of the filler stuff with him wrestling Usopp and Franky, because he even said like, oh, like Luffy's he has a perfect record once against Usopp. Like I'm like, oh my god, they kind of actually tied that in, because I don't know if people don't like to don't really watch like the fillers or the specials and stuff, but I do, and I like that super wrestling match he had with Usopp and Franky and stuff. That was fun, so I like that
yeah, because that was from like from Phil Gold, I remember, because they had like the little prelude thing prior to the match again into the City of Gold. So I really liked how, like, even though like I don't know if it's his way saying that it's canon and stuff, but like at least kind of like just putting it in there for the fun of it and stuff. Was
like, yeah, on the crew they do stuff, and that's something they did. They had a sumo wrestling match, like that probably happened. Even that little volleyball match too and stuff, like that was, that was great.
It was definitely dope. And then from there afterwards, obviously that was when like Hiroshima got his haircut afterwards. There was a tease of like Holdem and stuff afterwards, which I don't know. Holdem, it was like I was expecting something from Holdem, like at least be something scary looking dude, like he'll be like, okay, it'll be an interesting, like kind of like how we got like with Big Mom's crew, like how we got like it's funny, I've been trying to forget Whole Cake Island for a while, but now when I need it, it's like the Bookman, Mondor. I figured like at least be like on their tier, you know what I mean, like of their like class and stuff. I would expect the headliners to be around like that range, so those kind of guys when they be fighting. But like, what were you like, again, like going back to like Speed and Holdem, basically, were you fine with Holdem's like what he was kind of portrayed?
Yeah,
you were fine with it.
I about expected that from him. Going up against Luffy, like it's one thing if he's fighting somebody else, but it's like, you're not about to mess with the future Pirate King. So I was okay with it. He was funny though.
Yeah,
I like Kamijiro, like his belt was like at odds with him. That's
like, I think it was a while about him and the nuts and everything too. I'm just like, yo, what is wrong with this guy? But like, what like of all the things, his belt is a damn lion. Like, I don't know, man. Like a belt that ate the lion, eh? Okay. Like, but then I guess the stuff afterwards too, like with him and Tama, like, because okay, you tell me, because I don't know if I was like, because at first I'm thinking, okay, he just got pliers, right? He's pulling at her, but I'm not thinking it's gonna be like I'm like, yo, like, leave my girl alone. But like the way Luffy's reaction was to him saying like, pliers, like he was like freaking out. I'm like, bro, not a knife, like it's just pliers, bro, like. You know what I mean? Like, did you feel the same way as Luffy was, where it's like, yo, this, like when you like have the reaction, like, oh shit, like those pliers, man.
It's such a Luffy thing though, because think about Lucy. He must have rode on that thing for like a minute and it got body. Like like he will befriend anything he befriends. Like, don't do anything bad to them because he's gonna get mad. That's how he is. I hear what you're saying, because like, okay, come on, some pliers. Like he stab her,
but it makes sense.
Waterboard her or something. But it's like it's a genuine Luffy reaction. So I was okay with it. I laughed though. I definitely laughed. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm just like, because I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, like it's pliers, but then I'm thinking, okay, it makes sense, because I'm like, yo, get your hands off my daughter. Like, don't matter. You can have a spoon. Get away from my daughter. Like, you're not doing nothing. Like, but then it's just like, yo, I just the way I guess Oda kind of explained, he's like, pliers, and then he just comes in, just off the rip, just smokes this dude on sight, which that is like one of the most godly panels I think Oda's drawn like thus far post time skip. Like, if I have to think like my favorite ones that I've seen thus far, that panel of him just coming in with a rocket punch, bro. Like, I know the fire fist and everything, but it's just like, man, like he mollywopped that dude so nicely, and I'm just like, yo, for my daughter, man.
He reacted. It was crazy.
Yeah, he couldn't. That was the crazy part about But there is one thing I kind of glossed over a little bit, and I need to backtrack on it. So Oda's color pages, man, have been godly. I need your thoughts on that one double spread color page we got with the crew on the beach and everything. How you felt about that?
Which one is that one?
The one where Nami's like flexing.
Oh, those are great. Those are all great. Those are all great. Like the Olympics one was really great too. I like that one a lot. Yeah. Also, I guess we kind of skipped over a little bit of like, Bellamy is
Oh yeah. So him now being so he retired. He retired from the game. He's out here now with the flags and stuff. Like, how did you feel about that? Like, you felt like that's good for his for his character.
Yeah, you ain't cut out Bellamy. Just quit.
Yeah. So do you mean, like, do you think like his story's done completely, or like he'll come back eventually?
see him. We'll see him again when the Straw Hat Alliance is needed. He's acting all like, I don't think I'm not one of y'all, but you one of those. You one of them.
Yeah, like he took the piece. He's like, man, I'm taking it with me. Like it's all good. But let me see. My boy Mr. Reacts just commented real quick. So at this point in the story, there shouldn't be anyone but Yonko's commanders and outliers like Asha Doji providing resistance to Luffy. Him one-shotting Holdem was expected. I agree, definitely. I just feel like in terms of like, I guess like if I'm looking at it from the perspective of, let's say like, and not to downplay guys like Usopp or Nami or anything, but at least for them, these are the kind of guys you would think they would at least be tangling with. You know, because at least like, you know, with Montour and them and stuff, and like, you know, what we saw from like Brook and Nami, and like I know Chopper got slapped up by trees, but he blocked a Big Mom punch. As far as I'm concerned, what the anime says, but
hey, that parry,
that was a parry. Yeah, exactly, that was a parry, bro. You know, there was no block. Yo, he like, oh, get out of here. Like, yeah, the nails and everything coming out too, hockeyed up. I don't know, man. But that was crazy. But I figured that's how I would at least view like, you know, people like Holdem and like Speed and stuff, or at least someone where like Nami and them would be able to take on at the time, and then, you know, I guess like if they were to upgrade later on, you know, I guess whoever better steps up afterwards. But then we got to see afterwards, you know, so color of course, color page was dope and everything. So that was what 917 we're on, because I'm literally just going through all the color pages and stuff. But you know, we get to going back to like, you know, the Okobere town being all messed up and stuff, you know, all the people crying about like, you know, food and everything, which I really did appreciate how that came full circle. It wasn't like, you know, we just got it and then like it just, that was about it, you know what I mean? Like it just came back to where you had these people who were living in the leftovers for so many years, and then now they have something to be happy about. But what did you think afterwards with the thing with Luffy and Tama when she's like, you know, you remind me of Ace?
Man, I heard it.
That hit very hard. Like I was just like, yo, like, yeah. Because to me, like I love Ace. Ace is like still to this day one of my favorite characters in the series, and just like, because we know of his personality, we know the other things about him and everything, but just here, because she doesn't know that they were brothers, but just hearing that for Luffy, especially what he went through, man. Like if I'm in his position, like, you know, for him, he feels in his heart like I want to say like all these things, but it's like I don't know when's the time to tell you like how I feel about him. Like I feel like that's what Oda's waiting for. Have like this beautiful conversation between the two of them, just talking about all the good times and everything. Like I don't know, it just that part really hit me, man.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful because it's just kind of it's like, you know, inherited will.
Yeah.
So it's like he's kind of carrying out his will. Where I feel like Sabo, in a sense, is, you know, he has literally his fire in him because he has the Mary no and stuff, and then Luffy's kind of carrying out his will and, like, in terms of action, especially for Wano, and I really like that. I like how both of them are basically, you know, doing what Ace can't do because he's not here anymore. It's every time I see these parts, I'm like, like rest in paradise to Ace, man. But
yeah,
you know, your will lives on.
Definitely, man. And it's just like, you know, I actually kind of want to backtrack on this part because I completely skipped over Speed, which we have to talk about her a little bit. So what did you think of Speed? Because it's like, I was like, in terms of like, the first time we saw it, I'm okay. I think in my head, it's not gonna. Before we got the reveal of the horse and stuff, I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be something to do with like, you know, more like tigers, jaguars, something like that. And we see the horse girl show up and everything. So, what do you think? What do you think of Speed?
Speed. I mean, the like 360 whatever Byakugan stuff was pretty funny. But aside from that, I didn't really think much of her. I wasn't expecting her to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so she is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into that, you know, Centaur girls, you know, that's you. Do your thing. I'm like, oh, I don't kink shame, but
yeah, we don't judge, man.
She out, you know, she's out. Yeah. She's cool.
Yeah, I think I appreciate her a lot more with like the most recent chapters and what she tried to do and stuff for Tama. But we'll definitely, Satsuki. I don't know if I should read that comment, bro, because yo, you wildin'.
What do you say?
Yo, I reading that. I reading that. Shout out to my boy, man. He closing soon on 3K, man. Support him. But the comment, I don't know. But that's funny. But yeah, Speed, like, I definitely do appreciate her character a lot more, especially now, again, the fact that, like, you know, we saw what she did for Tama and everything, which we'll get into after. But getting to see, like, you know, even to like the Law and like Hawkins, you know, confrontation, because that I'm trying to see where I'm at here so I don't mess it up, but like that's prior to the whole, that's prior to the speech and stuff, basically, with Luffy saying like, you know, I'm gonna make sure that you be fed every single day. This is not like a one-time occurrence and stuff. So that happened prior to that, correct? So like,
yes, it did.
Yeah, so like in terms of that, like, you saw that as a clash between Hawkins and Law, or like an actual like a fight? Because I feel like when we get to the portions of this in the anime, I feel like this is where Toei could really extend it and make it like an actual fight.
They probably will, but like I gotta say, in terms of all the little mini clashes we ever got, this was probably one of my favorites because I feel like we don't often get to see two characters that are pretty cerebral go at it. Where it's like Law is a smart dude; it's pretty methodical in his planning and stuff, and so is Hawkins. To the point where Hawkins could recognize the tattoo, the ability immediately, and as a reminder they have an alliance, so it made sense that he was here. If Luffy's here quickly. And then Law in his own head is also thinking and planning stuff out. So it's like usually you kind of see like one person maybe be smarter than like an ape, but to see these two characters who have like tricky abilities, but also have a smart mind go at it, for me was a treat. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, because we don't get that often too. It's like the tactical like level fights anymore. It's like now it's like, you know, like just people being apes and just throwing hands. But like with them, it's just like now, especially since they're swordsmen in their own right. I mean, one has an actual cursed sword, the other one's like more straw base and stuff. But like he held his own, man. Like that's where I kind of give Hawkins his credit where it's due. Like he held his own against 3 supernovas in this arc. That is like in itself very impressive. And like there was like one piece of dialogue. I don't have the viz open up on me, so I apologize. I'm gonna have to use the hood stream thing for it. But in terms of like that little dialogue that we got, where like he's like, as expected, you were quick to see through my disguise. I was trying to scare you, and I enjoy killing people. That's because when I read it the first time, that was completely lost saying that, because I heard people saying that was Hawkins who said the first bubble, and I'm like, that makes no sense. Why? What disguise are you wearing?
Yeah, why would Hawkins be saying that?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, no, that clearly is Law and stuff. So I don't know, just very weird how that was interpreted. But obviously, you know, like this is where I was dying, because like, yo, this man, yo, he already had like his own problems with what was going on with Luffy causing trouble. But now, like when like Hawkins was saying, yeah, you know, I saw them, you know, they were doing their thing here. You have your alliance and stuff. It's there, and he's like, how would all this come to fruition? It's like, you know, Luffy and like Zoro just like causing trouble already, and like now like the plan's being ruined. And like him just catching a lift afterwards on the ship, provisions, and like, you know, him going. I love how he's like going after like Zoro, and then Zoro's just like, oh hey, what's good? He's like, you know what you did.
Come on, man. He's like, are you serious?
Yeah, but it's just like now. Okay, so now getting into some of the treasure provisions, because I really feel this is one of the best parts, honestly, when it comes to the Act 1 of Wano. So we get them pulling up on the ship and stuff, you know, coming in afterwards, you know, obviously still going with the Law and like Zoro thing going at each other. But I love this double spread a lot, the bottom half especially, when you see like, you know, the kid who was like crying and he's smiling afterwards. You seen like that woman who was about to kill her child. You see like that old lady afterwards with like the rope about to hang herself, and the guy comes in and is crying.
They chose death over hunger.
Yeah, they were willing to die instead of, you know, trying to like eat scraps or like what was going on. They were about that life, man. And then you seen them coming in with that all that food they were supposed to, like, literally Luffy and them were like Robin Hood, literally just coming in, bringing the provisions and stuff, and providing for these people who are in need, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Like, I absolutely loved it. Man.
I loved it.
You know, and just like that's Luffy returns the favor. That's his way of returning the favor, and that's only a part of it. The other part for Tama is that, yo, I'm gonna make sure this is the feeling you have every single day when I leave this island. Like,
that was a big line, and the way he said it was raw. I loved it.
Yeah, it's just like like there are things I love about Luffy's character, man, and like these are easily one of them. Like, he's thinking of other people besides himself and stuff, and like that's just a part of his nature as a character. Yeah, he's a pirate. I mean, we look at the classification of a pirate. There's supposed to be people who cause trouble, but like, you know, Luffy he's different. He's built differently compared to everyone else. You know.
Yep. And again, Ace said the same thing.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh man.
Yeah, and that's what got to me too. Is like, bro, like, because every time we see these little things, it's just like, if Tama just crying her eyes off, I'm just like, yo, man, like, come on. Well, my daughter's been through a tough time, man. Don't be doing this to her, man. It's just like, I love the relationship so much, man. It's almost like a older brother sister kind of thing that they have in a way, but it's just like, you know, they just share a connection because, you know, they had someone in their life that was very important. That person being Ace, like, man, I love that bit so much. And then like, we got like the stuff afterwards with them talking about after the tombstones of, you know, Oden Castle, you know. So when that happened, right, because I was always of the mindset we were gonna get like a Donkey Kong 64 feeling, like, you know, Cranky Kong's wife, the ghost.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm like, what? For a second, I had no idea where you were going.
Yeah. So yeah, so I was like, if we get one of those ghosts, like, you know, things like that, I'm like, okay, that in itself will be dope in a way, but then it'd be like, you know, the man's spirit just been chilling here. But I do like the fact how Oda kind of played around with that, where it's like, you know, this is just like a placement that they put here to kind of cover up tracks of what actually went down, like during like, you know, the 20 years ago and stuff. But what did you feel about that whole thing? Like when you saw it for the first time, what was your immediate thought?
I didn't know what to think. It was one of those, like, I don't even know what to say. Like I gotta sit down and let it marinate. But when people were starting to talk about, you know, yokai and stuff, I would have maybe been okay with it. My only issue with that was I feel like you undermine Brook's ability if people can just have lingering attachment to the world and not die. Where it's like that's literally the point of Brook's fruit. Yeah. Where it's like his soul could go back into his body and reanimate it, kind of thing. So I'm like, I don't know if I like that, because then what made him special? Definitely, like these guys didn't need a devil fruit to do that. They just, you know, were ghosts. So I didn't. That's why I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't against it, but I probably didn't like it. So I didn't go down that route. To me, I'm like, I wanted to keep it simple. So I'm like, it's probably a red herring to some degree. Yeah. And there's more to this that meets the eye. So I was like, okay, maybe they're alive. Well, some of them are obviously dead. Like I don't think Oden was alive and stuff, but like Kiyama and stuff, I didn't think they were like lingering spirits, because then it makes sense. Because people are like, well, they're like, oh, there were lingering spirits in Wano, but like we first met Kiyama on Punk Hazard though. So how was he there? So I don't know. I wasn't with that theory, but I couldn't get why people was going there, because this was supposed to be drenched in so much Japanese folklore and stuff.
Definitely, you know. I was gonna check the chat, because I know I apologize, I haven't been like seeing anything in the chat too much, because I'm trying to get through as much of the discussion we can, so that we have get into the media things afterwards. But let me just see real quick. I mean, we actually have 50 people. We actually almost 60 people at one point watching, but we have a consistent 50 right now. Like the stream, guys, if you've been enjoying thus far. But let me just get some of these comments real quick. May's Carrot is no longer top 5; she's top 3. I mean, after with the recent episode of the anime, hey man, I
call me Sonic Fox, okay?
Oh shit! Let me see. Law telling everyone to play the objective. Yeah, I mean he's trying to run the playbook, man. And Luffy is like, yo, just let me shoot the 3 from half. He's just trying to be on his Kuroko no Basket gimmick.
Bro, it's literally J.R. Smith and LeBron. Like, come on, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, bro, legit, that's what it was. Because he just had the hands out and everything. Like, yo, what are you doing? And he's like, yo, I didn't know. Like, but let me see. Sasuke says, I initially thought Shitamaru was going to be the Robin Hood. I initially was thinking that, but then at the same time, because he was out here robbing and like, you know, the farms and stuff prior, I was thinking like, okay, maybe he's gonna be like his own third party objective, where he's not an antagonist or someone going against like Luffy and stuff, but like he's not with them. And obviously now we know what Shitamaru, aka Ashura Doji's gimmick is going on. We know a little bit more. Let me see. What are you most hyped for this arc, lads? Also, the post arc, how hyped do you think it will be? Well, post arc, I think definitely is going to be GOAT. My favorite post arc anything still to this day for me personally is post Sunny's Lobby. I think because I don't consider really Reverie as like a post arc. It's its own arc in itself. So unless that was the case, then yeah, it is Reverie. We could take that question, but
I agree with that. Post the Usopp stuff, the Garp, Dragon, Shanks, Blackbeard, and he's like that. I mean, and Ace, like
Shanks and Whitebeard,
and for me, the apology Usopp gave, that I love that part.
I love it too.
I love it.
That's like how you're supposed to handle it. Like you handle it, and especially how Zoro kind of handle it too, where it's like, you know, you can't just let somebody come back into your craft with disrespecting like that. They have to acknowledge their fault and, you know, apologize. You disrespected the captain, like can't be doing that. You know, even then, like Shanks and Whitebeard too, which was great as well. I mean, like just getting to see them coming at each other, just like, yo, like, and then you just segue it to the end where it's like Ace and Blackbeard, but that and post Ace obviously was so good. But yeah, definitely post arc for Wano. I do expect a lot of great things, because I'm of the mindset Kaido is following this arc, so I definitely do think that there's going to be massive ramifications as to what's going to go down in the One Piece story after Wano. But in terms of what I'm most hyped for this arc, at this point, I'm actually excited to see the entirety of Oden's flashback. I want to know everything about it, because just getting to see, like, you know, what kind of person he was and everything. I know it kind of ties into what we're going to talk about in regards to the flashback, but it's like just getting to get to hear about what he was and stuff. He used to be this crazy criminal and stuff in the Flower Capital, to the point where his dad, the former Shogun, was like, yo, you out of here. I'm sending these adoption papers into the machines to be taken out. Like, I'm taking back my money, bro. Like, I'm not taking care of you. Like, you know, you too much of an ape. And then going into Curry, like, which is like infest of like all these criminals and everything. to holding his own down against Ashura Doji, to, you know, becoming afterwards a Daimyo because he was able to change up everything that was going on in Curry with like the farms, you know, civilization was a lot better and everything. I just need to see that whole flashback. That's what I am excited the most to see, because I know there's obvious things like the poneglyphs, you know, the Luffy versus Kaido fight, or the supernovas against Kaido, and then like, you know, Zoro's hopeful fight that he'll get eventually in Wano. But I think at this point, I loved what I got from Skypiea with, like, you know, Kalgara and Nolan. I want something on that level for Oden's flashback, and I feel like we could get that, honestly. So that's what I'm excited for. But what about you, Nya? What are you the most excited for when it comes to Wano?
Sanji fade suit.
All right, man. So like the stream, guys. It was awesome being here, man.
No, I do want to see that. I
know you do.
For me, actually, I am like, as much as I make fun of him, I'm excited to see Luffy and Kid together, and how that dynamic is going to come across.
Yeah,
and I know people always make fun of me for this, but I don't care. Anyone tells me I need a poo to come drop the Sob Count link. Okay, I need my mixtape.
He's gonna go out like Biggie Smalls, man. He gonna drop like a top 2 album, and he ain't
check her out.
Yeah, check her out. Like, but yeah, man. Like, I poo wildin', but I'm still buying that mixtape though, definitely. But yeah, I definitely see. I'm in agreement with you regarding like Luffy and Kid, especially because like I know like there's people who have their thing with Kid and saying like the slander and stuff, but I do feel like this will be now a great time to actually give his characterization, just kind of like, you know, flesh him out a little bit more instead of just being what we know of him this far. He's just an arrogant punk that is coming out here like flexing like a pirate and stuff, you know, just taking lives and stuff. But I mean, he hasn't really done too much. I mean, you know his bounty.
Anyone who was slandering Kid and wasn't doing it just to be an ass like I was, is just wrong because you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
When I slander Jack, I mean it. He sucks. I don't care what you say to me.
Because
I would like that. I actually don't like Jack.
Yeah.
Kid, I kept the same energy with Luffy when he lost. Like, so never forget.
Yeah.
But that dynamic is gonna be cool to see because I feel like they won't get along, but they'll have to get along. It's gonna be fun, man.
Exactly. Like, it's gonna be the thing that Luffy, like, because I'm trying to remember, has he had a time like this before where he's really dealt with someone that he just couldn't interact? I mean, like, aside from Crocodile, because like I feel like in terms of someone that's of his generation that he has like, Capone, I think would be the closest one maybe because he actually worked. They weren't sure if they could work together, and then they eventually did. But this is someone where it's like this is your legit rival. Like, you know, this is the guy who's right beside you when you were all together and stuff in Sabaody. Like, that's I mean, it's gonna be tough to see how that's gonna work, but I feel like, you know, they're gonna be of the same mindset. Like, they told Kaido, man, yo, you're gonna rue the day for what went down. So you already know some crazy shit's gonna go down, man. I can't wait.
I could kind of think I could like a little bit Smoker twice. They've been locked together, but like,
yeah,
Luffy just needs to be like a Smoker hater. He's like, nah, he cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember, they're in that jail joking around like with the Sanji stuff, like don't eat the food and the curly thing. They're joking around. So
that's so good. That was one of my favorite parts, honestly, with Alabasta, man. Yeah, then they gave you the Punk Hazard stuff too when they had switched the bodies and everything.
Yeah,
with the Shiki, yeah, that had me. The Smoker's like, what's wrong with you? Like. But yeah, so we got to so after the graveyard stuff, we got into afterwards. Them finding out exactly what transpired with the gravestones and everything. I really like the actually we was talking about like Speed and Tama. So this is like one of those parts, man. Like, I know it comes back afterwards, but I'm like, yo, Luffy, man. This is like the one thing I'm like, yo, you did the wrong thing, man. You should.
That was a bad decision.
That literally was like literally you putting in like, honestly, like, bro, you're putting in Greg Monroe in the final minutes of the game to go get you a win against like the Warriors. That's literally what it was for Luffy. This man legit is like, yo, go on Speed, one of the Beast Pirates people. No one's gonna find out. You have big ass Komainu, but I mean, obviously they need Komainu to get to the flipping castle. But it's like, bro, like, really? You couldn't just keep her with you? Like, the safest thing you could do is be with him. Don't put it back. And it's like,
exactly.
I don't know. That to me, like, I was just like, that was like the worst choice you could have honestly made. And that's where I was like really disappointed in Luffy, like, doing that. Obviously, like, now we know she's safe. You know what I'm saying? Because, yo, my dog, yo, Raw out here in the Rashi gang. But
hey, Minx the GOAT.
Big facts. And you know, she's good now, but it's just like, that was one of those things I was just kind of like so disappointed in Luffy, man. Like, oh, that's Yak Attack's like, yo, Speed is Greg Monroe. But the thing is, Greg Monroe is not fast. So that's the only thing. Greg Monroe is like legit, like, he's like slow. Like, you know, I don't know who I can compare him to in the NBA, but I don't know. Yao Ming was disrespectful, but but yeah, so we still like Luffy and them, they're saying their goodbyes. So the people afterwards who got the provisions were saying their goodbyes too. I love how like Law was like the one who's saying like, you know, a benevolent pirate, how revolting. And I'm like, yo, you took care of them kids with like the who had the sickness and everything. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, come on.
That line was kind of odd to me personally.
Yeah, was it?
It was a weird line for him because I've seen you help.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess I mean on that tier where it's I don't know, because I think like the practices of a doctor is like one thing, but like I guess like from the way Luffy does, like that's something Law wouldn't do, because it kind of does remind me in a way like, again, like how we talked about before, Zoro helping that guy in the hospital and stuff. That's something like almost like what Bonnie kind of had with like Zoro. That's kind of how I took it with Law and like Luffy afterwards.
Okay, that's fair.
Right, so it was like along those lines. Like we know like him saving people is one thing as a doctor, but as somebody who just like, I guess like, you know, you just, you know, gets the provisions and all that, like it's a different story. But but a lot that was funny though. I'm like, come on, you out here saving people from cancer, man. Like come on, don't be doing this. But it was really nice. It was a nice goodbye though, at least for them, you know, saying their goodbyes and then like heading off afterwards. Zoro figuring that there was something was up indeed with Kiku, which obviously that was covered after the fact. And then man got lost. But before I have to rip my man apart, because listen, man, GPSs have been out for sure in the 15th century. They've been out, but we gotta talk about the story with like Orochi and obviously like you know, Kyojuro, the money launderer guy. That woman though, the teacher with the kids. I hope that's not the last time we see her and we get to see more of her character, man. Because like, I don't know, she looked beautiful. And she was like really on point with like, you know, like kind of explaining the history and stuff of what transpired, and then like getting to see like the snakehead and stuff, which I know. Shout out to my boy Recon, man, but he actually thought at first that was Orochi, and yo, that's I implore anyone to go and see that reaction if you can, because that was one of the funniest moments of all time on here. It's literally on the same level as when SJC Strong Jump Captain thought that Dofi had the One Piece in that little box in chapter 700. Okay, it's on that tier.
Wow,
it is on that tier. Like, yo, that's funny, man. No, but shout out to my boys though, man. But,
that's funny. That's funny. Where's the handle, man? Where's the handle?
Yeah, the handle. Yeah.
Where's the handle?
Like, hey, shout out to my boy Tyrion, man. He about to pop off in Game of Thrones, but yeah, but what would you feel though, like, you know, when they were explaining like, you know, Orochi two blade style and stuff, or like, you know, Orochi the two blades. I forgot what the pronunciation was in the viz, but like, what did you feel like? Do you feel like that's kind of like our way we know now exactly what Orochi as a combatant? Because obviously we got to see Kyojiro's side where she's like, you know, he's like a coward and whatever, but then we got the battle side of things being explained from the teacher and the kids. Like what do you think? Do you think
it's brainwashing the youth from a young age to believe in the revised history that Kaido and Orochi have made?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like not, I'll say it's beautiful. Obviously it's not a beautiful thing. Don't brainwash the next generation, but it was just like masterfully done where it's like there's only gonna be like the very few remnants of like the Kozuki clan and stuff that will know really what transpired, and maybe outsiders who don't know. But as far as the most of the country is concerned, the city was saved. The country was saved by Orochi and whatnot. So yeah, the dual sword style makes us think he's probably a like Nitoryu user, so he uses two blades, not one, not three or four, but two. So yeah, we're getting a lot of little bit of nuggets in here too. And then obviously at some point the true history will come out, and then we can compare the two and know what really happened. So
exactly.
That's gonna be great.
That's beautifully said. I was literally gonna try and restate everything, but you just said it perfectly, man. It's just like, you know, all these kids are like, they're being told. It's almost like how like us like growing up, like, you know, we learn one thing in the books, but does that mean that's like accurate as it is? No, like you try and like research.
Like Dofi said, man, it's the victors who get to write history. The justice is the winner. Yeah. So if you win the war, you get to write the history.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Exactly. So we got all that covered afterwards, you know, with them and the teacher, and then like Kyojiro afterwards, kind of talking about like, you know, the 9 red scabbards, and all that. Like, to me, that was really dope. Like, I don't know what it is, man, but whenever Oda's in his bag, when it comes to like, you know, talking about these quotes and like trying to get like, you know, these prophecies are basically like foretellings of stuff that's about to go down. When he's really like explaining these kind of stuff, it's just, this is like poetry, honestly, to me, man. He's like, you are like the moon who knows not the dawn. If there's one ardent wish that can be fulfilled, then it shall be the one where 9 shadows are cast, woven together through 20 years of moonlit nights. Only then shall you know the radiance of dawn. I was just like, yo, but now I need to hear that out of Toki's mouth which we'll get into her after. But I need her. Like,
that was like very poetic.
It truly was. It's just like, it goes to show like the prophecies and all that stuff going down. But that definitely was freaking dope. And then obviously Robin, doing her thing, with the geisha.
She's twerking.
Yeah, she literally. Bro, I love how like you see like the old lady there is still there as well. I didn't even peep her the first time I read the chapter like way back, but I'm like, yo, she's actually there too, like playing on the banjo kazooie thing. Like,
I shout out to Koshiro. Yo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about the Pompadour top-notch side.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah, dude. He watched part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. He was a fan of Kuwabara and Yu Hakusho, man. He's stunning, man. He looked great.
Bro, that hair gold.
Yeah, it's
the sideburns with the top knot and the pompadour. That is a clean combination.
Definitely, man. That goes stupid hard, honestly, man. But Kyoshiro, he's dope. I hope we get to see more of the way I reference like Orochi. I guess like his people is like his cabinet. So that of like basically like his main like almost like think like the Jupakatana in like Rurouni Kenshin. So something along those lines where like his squad. I want to try and see. Hopefully we get to see more of that, and that's kind of where I'm looking for the Act 2 with Orochi, since we actually never got to see a full appearance yet. But moving towards afterwards, Kishiro sleeping and everything, and then going to the castle, the ruins and everything that was there. Kiku, she was like shedding tears and made, she dipped, and then Zoro, going to Raftel, I assume. Like, what the thing is? It's like before we got into the whole 20-year thing, when I was first explained, I saw a comment on Facebook that tripped me out, and I'm like, okay, first of all, it would be like one of those, I would be freaking out for days if this would literally be like a 2-week time skip thing or like a 2-week break. But then I would be like, oh, why are we doing this? But someone was like, yo, what if Zoro had went into the past? I would have been freaking out, because I'm like, bro, how you getting back? Like, how
you get lost that?
Because bro, like, I'm thinking, because then we got to see like the panels and stuff with Kaido and the disasters. I'm like, bro, imagine he's walking around in 20 years ago and he's seeing all this go down. I'm like, bro, like, I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, if that scenario ever happened, that'd be too much. But thank God that wasn't the case, because then it would be like, it would kind of go into like, our problem, like, I wouldn't say our problem, but how we feel about like, the time frame and stuff afterwards. But we got to see that afterwards, the conversation with like Luffy and like Law. They're explaining about like at first they're like thinking like they're actually ghosts, like they're actually like yokais and stuff. But in actuality, Kinemon, like he had the runs.
Yeah, that was funny as hell.
Yeah, like,
I love
that's where I felt the comedy also, like, again, we were saying like in this hard comedy was on point, but this is where I felt it was really on point. Like, I was like, yo, what the hell do you think I was talking about?
Like, yeah, what the heck? What's wrong with you? Like, bro, you made this shit so ominous.
Yeah, bro.
What do you mean? What do you think you're talking about?
Yeah, and then just like seeing afterwards, like, Kinemon and like Kiku afterwards, which we thought where the relationship was going to come into play, but obviously that was not the case to be. Kiku, obviously she's her own person. Kinemon got the stuff with Sudu, we'll get into after, but then everyone coming back together afterwards. I kind of did wish though we would have at least, even though I know like some people wouldn't have wanted it, but at least I would have liked to see like a chapter of like where Sanji and the crew was a bit, so we kind of like, they just don't just show up randomly, like we got them here and they kind of explain, oh, this is where we were, at least they even gloss it over like half a chapter or like at least a portion of it, so we know like they're fine.
Yeah, I could have done with that. I mean, I'm okay with them not showing that, but I mean, I could feel why you'd want it. Like,
yeah, because it's like again, I know I rag on Sanji a lot, but it's like at least let us know they're fine, that they're good and whatever, right? And then like again, Octopus Boy was not showing up, so again, that man's gonna be important. I don't care what anyone says, like, they're raw. But then afterwards they go into explaining afterwards, the whole thing about 20 years, moving forward in time, literally on some Samurai Jack stuff, which was so dope. That's literally, I was like rewatching Samurai Jack for the fun of it.
That's my Jack, Samurai.
Yeah,
Jack.
It literally is, bro. Like,
not that baby elephant.
Nah. But then we get into like 920, which is I Love Oden. That chapter, man, which is, again, we talked about the whole thing about him, like how like he was like the rebel and stuff back home and everything. His father, Sukiyaki Kozuki, the former shogun and stuff, said like, you out of here. I'm sending these adoption papers, back to the government. We done. I'm getting my money back. We're going to the strip club. But then afterwards, he got revolutionized or created a civilization within Curry afterwards by liberating it and stuff, creating like a better life. He became the Daimyo Curry afterwards at the age of 20, and then Zoro lost again. I'm just like, you know what, man. I'll just at this point I'll just take the slander, bro. Like I can't say anything about it. Like,
I was a little bit sad because I wanted Sanji to flex his bounty on him, but
yeah. But it's just like, yo, this man's like, I'm thinking like he'll be in the factories, and then he just sees like that port afterwards that's there with like the ships, and I'm like, bro, where are we going to Raftel, man? Like, I don't know what this dude. But then getting to see like, you know, like Inuarashi again was dope because then he plays a very integral role, becoming Dog of the Year. Definitely, he won that award. Without question. But it was cool just to see like his relationship with Oden, you know, like how he was like his savior and stuff. And I guess like now it makes more sense after when we get the like little bits of the flashback as to exactly like, you know, why they started bickering at each other and stuff. So I like how it kind of tied everything in with this chapter,
and that he's fought, you know, Ashura Doji, aka Shikamaru and stuff. Like all stuff was great. But like can I just like touch on how everybody completely overreacted to the time thing for a sec?
Okay.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Because it just struck me as very odd, because I'm like, I'm reading it, and personally I like time travel. It's fine for me, maybe because I'm a comic book guy, and I've read tons of stories where it's surrounded, it has time travel elements, or it is about time travel. Like, listen, the Steins Gate visual novel is one of the greatest narratives I've ever experienced. Steins Gate Zero is okay, but the original one, amazing, right? But time travel in One Piece isn't far-fetched. I don't get how they are pushing their limitations of their imagination on Oda, because like it's One Piece. Like people try to pick the weirdest moments to try to like apply like real world logic to One Piece when it suits their arguments. Like this is a world with sky islands, dwarfs, like super medicine, great abilities, giants, smurfolk with vast technology, like human beings who just look weird, who are huge and same powers. Like, bro, Sanji can like set himself ablaze underwater, reconstruct your face with his boot. But it was like, time shenanigans is too far. I was like,
we have islands made of fucking balloons and stuff, man. It's just
like Otama does literally rode balloons to the moon. Like, there's like, come on, relax. Yeah. And then it was so funny because like the next chapter, this one we're talking about, it was so simply explained. Like it's more to it, of course. Yeah. Like I feel like Toki, wherever she originally came from, is important, but it's like you can only move forward. So moving forward, it's not going to cause any time paradoxes or anything like that of the sort. So it was fine. And it was a simple devil fruit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you guys knee-jerk overreact to everything so fast sometimes. It's just calm it down, man. Yeah, calm it down.
Definitely. I do feel like, definitely like on social media it was pretty wild and stuff. For myself, it's like, for me, it's like I wanted to hope that Oda was going to handle this properly, because this is a thing that, not to say it could make or break the series, but it's like one of those things that either could make it a positive or could be a negative if handled correctly. And I feel like he did a fine job at least keeping it to where it's going to move forward, where there's no thing about the past. I do have my own idea of if we go into the past through a different method, but we'll talk about it after. But what you were saying again?
But like what Yak said was fine. Like you being cautiously optimistic, you know, like, okay, like I don't know about this. It's not you overreacting. That was my point. It's the people who literally went complete left field and try to say like it doesn't belong in the story, yada yada. Yeah. And Gio, nothing you say will change my opinion on Jack. I don't care. Jack could literally throw the country. Biggest feat we've seen, and I won't like him. I don't like Jack. He sucks. I'm sorry. Baby elephant.
I'll be honest. Listen, man. Jack might be some mid, but yo, I'll be hyping that. You throw the whole country, bro, raw. Like, listen, you got a man who can crack his whole head into a country, bro. You throw it, yo. My man Gar was out here punching down mountains as punching bags for fun. Yo, give
that is not my man's. Okay, sorry.
That's all good.
And combat does not make a character good or bad to me. I don't care what he does in combat. I don't like him. He ugly.
Very true. Very true. Very true. And then we get into this stuff afterwards with like, okay, so the double spread of like, you know, they were all happy and stuff talking about Oden, and then transition afterwards into like sadness and stuff. Do you feel like, how was your feeling towards that? Because I was looking at like, oh, they're happy, and then I'm like, holy shit, why are they all sad? Why are you crying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so did you feel like they should have really explained more, like, you know, give us, I guess, more flashback panels to that, or like the way Oda kind of did it was fine?
I thought it was fine if you consider the last chapter and how the lady was explaining the history and then kind of getting some of it from their perspective and their point of view, where it's like happy times with how much he was great, but then the fact that they had to get sent 20 years into the future was tragic because of what happened. So seeing it kind of transition slowly into more despair, to me was fine. I do agree though, maybe having less panels of everyone reacting and more panels of some of the stuff in the flashback would have been better. But I think he wants to save that and flesh it out more when it's more relevant. So but I can see why you'd want a little bit more of the panels though. I get that.
And I was gonna say before even like getting into like the I guess like into the other stuff after. So like when we do get that flashback, do you assume it's going to be like how we got Big Mom's, which is like what, a couple chapters only, or do we see it being like the law treatment, which was like 4 to 5, I think 6 chapters it was, something like that? So
I think it depends on what you want, because if you want the whole journey with him also with Roger and stuff, I don't think you're getting that, so it's not going to be that long. I think if you keep it specific to the stuff that happened in Wano Country, it could be about 4, 5 max, I think. But then I just opened a chapter. I mean, they kind of do go back more into the flashback stuff with Toki and Hiyori and the samurai bowing to her and stuff. So I guess he did show a good amount of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
The past.
I think it's just more of like, you know, what led to him being, you know, as a criminal, like actually getting to see that stuff, because I feel like that's important. But I feel like again, that's going to be something that he wants to save for later on, probably.
Yo, beardless Kaido.
That's scary, man. Bro, only with the mustache and
no
stuff.
beard Kaido, young Kaido.
Yeah, bro. And then you have like the other disasters, which is crazy because I've always been in the mindset, because of the fact of like a card game, we're gonna get like, you know, King, Queen, and Jack. Obviously, the Cyclops looking dude in the middle is gotta be the number one, just by
Pika. I'm joking.
But that thing, I was like, yo, I'm like, that thing was spooky as hell. And then just seeing the other guy, which it was weird because when I looked at the first time, the person on the right does resemble somewhat of what Kaido was supposed to look like back in Post Enemy's lobby when they had like the
when the silhouettes.
Yeah. So I was thinking like, okay, that's actually pretty crazy, but that means it's definitely not Queen, so it has to be somebody else then, most likely. And maybe the only thing I can think of is unless his actual queen might be someone who's not among the disasters, but someone else within the crew or whatever, like his own like thing. Because I mean, to say like Big Mom had like her own like husband gimmick that was going on, who's to say maybe that Kaido doesn't have his own red light district and like has this? I mean, he's a drunk, he loves to go out and like go crazy and do crazy stuff. It would not surprise me whatsoever that he would have something like that. But what would you think if that were to be the case?
I'm okay with it because I think I think Kaido's a lot more layered than he seems. I think we'll get into it a little bit more when you see him. So I could see a lot of his current motivation stemming from something that happened to him in the past. So I don't think Kaido has like some kind of lover or anything like that, to be honest. But I could see like something that happened in his past kind of shaping who he is today, because I feel like he's masking a lot of pain with the Kaido brand Hennessy. Get you a bottle.
You know what I mean?
It's
like, you know, Big Mom, like she eats her problems away. This man drinks his problems away. And that's something that I know people are like, oh, like, you know, we're gonna make the sake and stuff from. It's like, if you think about it and stuff, honestly, it's like, you know, you're tackling somebody who is dealing with, you know, problems with alcoholism and stuff. Like, it's very real that like Oda is gonna be tackling something like this definitely at some point in time within this arc. He did that with Big Mom. Who's to say he can't do that also with Kaido? I would be interested in that, as long as like, you know, the events that transpire are enough for me to actually care to that level for Kaido. Because obviously, like, when you get, like, he could be the antagonist, but you're supposed to be supporting the protagonist. That's what, like, as a storyteller, what you're trying to do. And I feel like that would be cool to have that different complex where it's like, I want to see Luffy win. I want to see him, like, you know, do his thing. But it's like, I feel for this guy too, because I understand now what he's went through and why he is the way he is. So it's very tough on that. But getting to see now the like bits of the flashback of them getting into Oden's castle, Toki, Hiyori, and everything. Toki, I'm 1000% certain she's from the Void Century. I don't know. The fact that she's from like way, like the way when they said like there have always been rumors that she's born sometime in the distant past. Like for me, like, don't weigh a dinosaur, like that would make, like, that'll be way too much. That'll be way too much. So I'm thinking at least Void Century. They whatever crazy shit they had back then, for sure that's what they kept on going and going afterwards. With the. But what do you think? I'm okay with that. I mean, my other speculation was before the Void Century or whatever came after immediately, right? So somewhere around that time period. But her being from the legit Void Century is something that I considered, so I'm okay with it. Yeah, it makes sense. It'd be cool because like I feel like I do feel like she has a more important role to play here, other than just the Wano stuff. So I'm excited to see when that comes to light. Yeah, and I was gonna say, actually, going back to Kaido, because Yak put this also as well. Who gave Kaido that scar? Who for you? Who do you think of the mindset that did it? Because now it's like after getting what happened to Oden, I'm 1000% certain it was Whitebeard that gave it to him.
That was always my guess. Like I have nothing to really back it, but it was like for me it had to be. For me, I think to myself, Whitebeard.
Because especially because of the relationship that they had and everything too with Roger and stuff. It's like if you heard like when your man's got taken out by Kaido, it's like, yo, I'm pulling up and I'm squaring you up in the face, man. Like,
and then based off all like that Whitebeard, he finally managed to die, blah blah blah. Like, you know, like he kind of name dropped him immediately too. So it's just like I couldn't tell you. I don't know. My headcanon just says, yo.
Yeah, and it's just
G, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Edward Newgate, baby.
And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, did he hit him with the glaive? Did he just punch? Because if he punched him and he gave him that mark, that's like holy shit. Like, yo, because the glaive is like a big sense, a cut and everything. But yo, that's like because like, you see like there's like a circle-ish thing towards the womb, so like it could be a punch like straight up too as well. And like that's what I'm saying, bro. You caught an earthquake to the damn abdomen, like.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Like
rest in peace, Whitebeard.
Rest in peace, man. Shout out to that, man. He stands both Chopper and
Whitebeard.
Definitely.
Those are his dudes.
Definitely. But then afterwards, you know, we get the whole stuff with Toki and like Hiyori. Hiyori definitely I did talk about more of my predictions for Act 2, where I do feel like she is indeed alive. I don't know.
Same.
I don't know if she's gonna be Tama. I don't know if I would want that personally, but I could see her being like a geisha under the cabinet for Orochi, and then Robin's probably gonna end up meeting her because of that. So that's how I kind of feel. But if you think Hiyori, when we see Hiyori, I expect in Act 2 we're gonna see her. What do you think her role is gonna be exactly?
I think there was a specific reason why Lady Toki didn't send her forward in time.
Yeah,
and kept her with her, because if you actually remember correctly, if you look at when they're all bowing to her, one of the samurai is not there. Right, one of them's missing. So what I was thinking was, she's like, oh, my journey ends here. She's at the terminus, end of my journey. So she had an important role to play here, and I think it had to do with whatever it is she needed to pass on to Hiyori, and then that last samurai is like low key protecting her or guarding her. It's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, like, could it be Hitetsu? Because Hitetsu said he was waiting for somebody as well. So like, do you? Because that's a lot of people have been saying that person had to be Hitetsu.
I didn't consider it.
Yeah.
Did they say he was a samurai or just a bladesmith?
He's a bladesmith, I believe. Yeah, that was his permission. But
I don't know. I would have to look into that more to be. But I never considered. It was him though.
But I love the fact that if it's a mystery character, we don't know about it. That would actually add more again to the mystery of things, because it's like, you know, Hitetsu, like, he looks like he's aged quite a while, so it's like, you know, I couldn't see it being him, because like he doesn't have retained that young look to him and stuff. If he was from like 20 years ago. But I mean, I know that's gonna be one of the things where I'm like, maybe it could be that one dude we saw in the cover page with Crocus and stuff, right, when they're having at the Twin Peaks.
Okay, yeah.
Stuff. So I'm thinking maybe it could be that person too. Like, I was always in the mindset, like when I did that Wano video way back, that, you know, when Zoro and Brook learn how to fight with like elemental swords, that if that's Hitetsu or Kitetsu, whatever, right? Like, that would be the person to teach them. So I mean, that maybe we see that person again, maybe doing that, but I don't know. But that definitely is something for food for thought with regards to Hiyori. Like, you know, if that person that we were talking about earlier, without question, is, you know, the retainer that we think is, or like, you know, some mystery character per se, but to kind of jolt forward. So we have, like, you know, everything was explained afterwards about them going into the, you know, the future 20 years afterwards. They go ahead and explain, you know, how they have the people with the moon crescent marks on their left foot that they're trying to recruit. They're saying that in 2 weeks time they're gonna, you know, they're going into secrecy right now, so that way they can try and recruit these people, and then in 2 weeks time they're gonna go into the Onigashima, the raid on Onigashima for the fire festival, where Kaido resides. You have that beautiful panel afterwards with, like, you know, Law, Momonosuke, Luffy, and Inuarashi all there getting ready, and then that I felt like was dope. And then it's like we get the next chapter, and then this is where I was like, okay, if Kaido is on the cover of Jump, first of all, Oda doesn't care.
He's coming.
Yeah, Oda doesn't care if you never read One Piece before. Like, Kaido out. Like, yeah, I don't think that's the last time we're seeing him on the cover personally, per se. I think if we ever get the final fight between the Supernovas and him, or Luffy and him, I do see them be on the cover.
Also, Lin looking kind of thick on the right, the cover page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, man. Let me just say this too. They got the wrong pink hair girl. I know there's Perona stands in here and stuff. I understand.
That's me. I'm a Perona stand.
I understand that, but it's like, listen, man. Bonnie out.
Yo. Lilin, baby.
She was out here rocking. Like, it was crazy. Like, if you pay attention to like
Lilin, Dr. Kureha, Pre-Fruit, Alvida, top 3.
You know, it was crazy because I was looking back at like her design and stuff, right, for Linlin. I was looking. She actually has like if you move like the piece, like the one piece like little logo part on it, she actually has like the same like color like heels and stuff like she has on her dress, which I thought was like a real cool touch. But
oh shoot,
yeah, but everyone else out here, yeah, they were balling. Like, Chopper being like the mascot, you'll support girls, but no, definitely support women, man. Definitely support women. They're all raw, beautiful, talented in their own, their way, man. Just they great.
I really like this the spread though. You said Shida Hoshi in the corner just way too
big.
She's
like too big. I used to see all nothing but tail and everything. Like Luffy's arm. Yeah. I like how he's like is going around everyone but Big Mom. Is like, yo, these my tings. Like, I just love that. Like obviously he couldn't do it with Shiroshi because like his arm not that long. End of series maybe, but we'll see. But I really like the spread definitely was dope. But again, I need some money. But we got to shoot in Maru stuff, which. Okay, so before even shoot tomorrow, they kind of give the explanation of like, what exactly the raid on Onigashima is going to be about. And basically it's like, even though it's supposed to be like this thing that they pay respects to, like, I guess, I don't know, some ogre tombstone thing, whatever the hell is going on. Basically it's a facade, and that it's actually where like the government officials and the beast pirates are going to have like this banquet and stuff and have a good time. Now, I talked about this in my Act 2 predictions, but I want to get your thoughts on whether or not you could see it happening or not. And would you like to see it or not? Is that we had in Whole Cake Island the betrayal with Big Mom and Judge. Do you feel like we could get that same thing go down between Kaido and Orochi?
Wait, who betrays who?
So Kaido would betray Orochi because we know for a fact that Kaido wants information regarding whatever the secret is that Oden possesses regarding to Raftel. And I'm thinking that because he's aligned with them, it's not just they're not just aligned for whatever it is. I feel like because there might be a second secret that may be tied to it, that maybe Orochi has possession of, that is in the flower capital itself. And that maybe it's on the poneglyph. Maybe there's another poneglyph there that tells you information about something that Kaido wants, or a document or so, and that belongs into Orochi's possession. So he's working with him, offering protection in the time that once he kind of lures him out into his territory, he can smoke him out and then make the raid afterwards with Wano, because he won't care. No one's going to come and try and jump him afterwards.
It's hard for me to say until I see some type of interaction between them, because like I don't want to go too into it because we didn't get to the Kaido stuff yet, but I feel like Kaido is smart enough that he's keeping a good relationship with Wano Country, especially the way he's manipulating the news and stuff, where it's like we have to kind of see if it's like, is Kaido the big boss? Is it Orochi? Is it 1A, 1B?
Yeah.
Like, we kind of have to see that dynamic before I can fully say it. But truth be told, if someone was going to opt out, I would see Orochi doing it before Kaido.
Yeah, because I mean, especially if you given like what Kyojuro was kind of saying too about his personality, how much of he's a coward and stuff. Maybe he could. That's definitely a possibility too, where he pulls out the deal and knows, this man's too crazy, I can't. But then it's like, if you don't offer that protection, maybe that's what's enough for the Marines to kind of jump in. It's like, it's not just the fact that you have these strong samurais; it's that you have legit 1,000 beast Kaido literally just chilling in Wano. You're not gonna do that. So if you lose Kaido, it's like, man, that's a lot you're losing right there, man. So,
and then have to think about the Shogun runs the country, but is it really him? Is he just the face?
Yeah.
And Kaido runs it. I kind of have to see more of that before I can really say. But it's an interesting thought, though. So
yeah, definitely.
I hadn't thought about it. I'm gonna think about it now.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like, if I had to look at the Shogun, like you and me, like we've read Gintama, so like Nob basically. Like if we have to go Nobunobu, okay. So I'm thinking like maybe it could be along those lines. But then again, it's like my dream for the Shogun, honestly. Like even though I wanted to be a combatant, I kind of wanted to be like the original Shogun, Tokigage and stuff, man. Like with him, I need to
go
Shogun Kaido, man. Like look, that would be hilarious, and then he's a villain. That would be an interesting twist too. To have his character.
I'm with it, man. I'm with it.
Yeah, and then so we get like the whole explanation afterwards of like, Kiku revealing that she's not actually like the wife of Kinemo, is actually Suru, which that subplot, again, I need to see that like come to fruition. Like it's gonna be great. They kind of explain to everyone like what's gonna happen. They need to find the people with the left foot. On their left foot they have like the moon crescent marks, so they got to find those people by handing out flyers. They're explaining like everyone's doing their current jobs right now, with like Usopp as a Toro merchant. We see like Franky, Franosuke, should I say, he's working as a prince for the guy who did build Kaido's residence, his mansion. He's trying to get the blueprint so they kind of know what's there. And I'm thinking like, okay, the blueprints, because obviously they're going to need the poneglyph rubbings, which to me, that's what it says too, is that the rogue poneglyphs could belong there. But maybe whatever information that Kaido needs, like I was saying about the betrayal thing, might have to be within actually the Flower Capital. Because otherwise, I'm thinking like, yeah, if I think about how the betrayal work though, so that's how I kind of view it. You know, Robin doing her thing with the geisha stuff, and I do still think if Hiyori is a geisha, whatever, working under like, you know, Orochi, I definitely see some kind of connection happening there. And then Robin finding out exactly maybe from her perspective what's been going on in the 20 years after the fact that Momonosuke and them were gone. So we get that, you know, Nami, you know, she's gonna be using her weather techniques, practicing her jutsu. She's gonna be basically she's gonna be better than any Naruto character you can think of, and that's and not just on me, just, you know, smoking out Naruto fans. I'm just saying facts. And then, you know, Sanji, this is the thing I like as much, again, I rag on him a lot, but I really am excited for Act 2 for him specifically because of the fact that we're gonna be opening up more of like the I guess like pretty much more of like Wano, because again I feel like we only got to see like, you know, Flower Capital, only getting to see like, you know, Kuri. I think this would be great for him too, and like all the other characters when they split up, to open up Wano a bit more and getting to see the regions and all these different places instead of just talking about, oh, I was in this area and that, like, show me basically. And I think this would be dope too, the fact that he's gonna be one area cooking for people and stuff. He'll be going to see one area of Wano, more of the town, so it kind of opens up more of the place, so it shows that Wano is a massive country, because right now it kind of feels small. You know what I mean? For what we've seen, like, it kind of does feel small. Like, I wouldn't say Dressrosa small, but it kind of does feel small right now. You know, so we gotta see that. Oh, I forgot one thing. Brook is gonna be getting this food supplies and stuff, using his abilities and stuff. So I thought that was cool. But the costumes,
that Nami part, that Nami one I saw coming a mile away.
I was like,
I saw it coming. I laughed, but I saw it coming a mile away.
I was like, yo,
especially based on their first interaction.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, how like shameless, blah blah. I'm like, nah, you don't. Everyone got a proper outfit except Nami. I saw it coming. It was so. And
it was crazy because like if you remember going back to like their interactions in Punk Hazard, where he's like, you know, or even like or the beginning of Dressrosa, where he's like, yeah, this is how they were dressed and stuff, and I'm like, yo, when he brought that in, I'm like, yo, okay. And I was dying, like, she's like, oh, trying to figure, like, oh, can I, like, unzip this? I'm like, come on. I'm thinking, I'm like, looking at Oden, I'm like, bro, we know you and I know the answer to that. You know what you're doing, bro. so shout out to Sanji, because, you know, at least with him, I can appreciate beautiful woman, man. But Chopper out here, man, like, you know,
Shinobu, go.
Yeah, I love it, bro. Oh, Shinobu definitely get into her, because, you know. Yo, this poor bad Sanji. I feel for him, man.
The art of bewitchment. Respect her.
Yeah, bro, but
thick.
Bro, this man got it bad in Water 7. With, what was her name, bro? Help me out here. The mermaid.
Oh my god.
Franky's stepmom. Yeah.
I can't even remember her name right now.
Chad, help me out, man, with the name, please, because it's been too long. But with her, it's just like, yo, this man's like, oh, and then he had thought like the mermaids were gonna be some mid in Fishman Island because of that, and then like, of course, that changed up. Kokoro, yeah, there you go, Kokoro, yeah. So Kokoro, like, he's like, nah, man, this ain't it. And then like he goes to Fishman Island, and yeah, mermaids were hidden. But Shinobu, it's just like, nah, man. And I love like Brooke, because like, you know, I thought I was supposed to be someone with like pants on their head, panties on their head and stuff, but I was wrong. And I was just like, bro, you're sicko, man, like, just get help. And then and I love like Kinemo's trying to defend himself. He's like, yo, there's 2 types of kunoichi. There's 2 types. He's like, really? Come on, yo.
Oh my god, he really tried. He's like, yo, you understand? There's more than one.
Yeah, bro. And it's just like, so we get to see Shinobu and stuff. You know, obviously she has the ability, which is the rot nomi. So like kind of like maturing things, like the things of like really rot, basically, like when we saw her later on in the next chapter. But Shinobu, she's cool. I mean, she's like, she's one of like the disciples.
It reminded me a bit of the Sabi nomi a little bit, but from, remember Shu?
Yeah,
from the rusting, and his lobbies, like it got like, I don't know if rusting and rotting are that different, but that's kind of what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I mean the properties are similar, like definitely. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, Shinobu, she was cool for what she was. And then we're going to see afterwards, Kinemon kind of hyping up afterwards, you know, trying to find Kawamatsu, Denjiro, and Shitamaru, aka actually Ashura Doji, aka Ashura Dojin, because I remember one time I accidentally forgot his name. I forgot his name, so I'm like, oh, Dojin? Like, and I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, shout out to the DeviantArt, man, they might hit. But if in regards to like Kawamatsu and Denjiro, man, I'm really excited because like the designs, even though their silhouettes do look kind of cool, like you have like who I assume Kawamatsu being the one that's on the left and Denjiro being on the right. Denjiro having like that weird hair thing going on, which is kind of similar in a way to those characters we saw back in Whole Cake Island when like Capone, I think it was Capone, or was it Pedro or Jinbei? They were talking about like, you know, who the people from the underground that were going to be there, and I remember like one of the designs being very similar to that. So I like how I was kind of bringing that in there. But Ashura Doji, we gotta talk about your mans.
Goten Maru.
Yeah, bro. So we go to Cobra Town. Atayama thieves come in. And first of all, man, whoever his right hand man was that kicked that lady, hey, listen, man, I'm coming in with the Busaki knee strike, bro. We're not doing this, man. It comes in, kicks poor old girl, kid's like crying. And here's the thing, before I turned the page, I saw that bull like thing, and I'm like, bro, is that him? Like, is that him? I thought it was a dope fruit, right? Like he was like some kind of bull like thing. And then I turned the page. And I'm like seeing this big ass fella just chilling on the bull, and I'm like,
he's
what?
Chilling. He's drinking his liquor.
And I gotta say this, bro. At first, when I saw it, I was like, and then after, thank God, the chapter like it changed my opinion right away because I was like, well, it was some big fella. He's just lazy. He doesn't care, you know. And then you see like old granny out here like willing to take like her life to be taken and stuff. He's like, yo, like I still believe in the prophecies and everything. And Shitamaru's like, shut up, you're about to die.
Yeah. He's I don't know. I feel like he's hiding something. He's masking something. There's more to him than meets the eye, but I like him. Yeah. I mean, we know why I like him because.
Yeah, bro. Because then afterwards,
baby elephant.
Yeah, bro. Jack
pulls
up, and he is given the Beast Pirates All Star, which I was weirded out about it because I thought that he was demoted, but in actuality, when Jack was first introduced, he was given the title of All Star upon his introduction and stuff. So I was like, okay, that makes more sense. So obviously, they're considered disasters, calamities, all-star. It just basically means the same thing. It's just that's how the translation works.
Okay. But I like calamities the best though.
I like it. Disasters, it's like it would only make sense if like they have some kind of natural disaster appeal to it. But other than that, calamities does sound a little bit more raw. All-star, it's like, I mean, he's not getting selected on my all-star team. He's not on my all NBA team. Nope. Like he's not making the cut. But I like the fact that he brought back the Croco Shark as well, because I'm like, I like that thing, and then the fact that he brought it back, I'm like, yo, that shark is raw, man. Like he's cool as hell. Something like straight out like Toriko, you would think, honestly, with some of those creatures. But it was dope. Where like Ashura Doji was like, if I tell you I don't know him, will your attitude change? We'll only left you alive this long because Kaido wants you as a subordinate. So kind of like telling you like this guy is quite strong, and literally you turn the page, and man's got sliced. Like
hit you with that bullet.
Yeah, he coughing out blood. He's like, good. Like
this is y'all calamity.
Yeah, and I was like,
yikes.
Oh shit. And I'm like, yo, don't underestimate the samurai. I was like, bruh, this guy might be the truth. So
obviously, I shoot tomorrow. Ashura Doji is strong.
Yeah,
right.
But
don't underestimate the samurai. But it's just like at this point. What do people expect me to think about Jack if every time I see him he's taking an L? Like, why am I hyping him?
That's what I'm saying, man.
Obviously, it's just like he has incredible like defensive and durability feats within those losses. Like, they couldn't really get to him, his stamina, he was underwater and he's still alive. All of it is fine, but literally every time I see him, he's losing. Why would I hype him? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you like him, that's fine. But how am I wrong for every time I see him, he's in the position of not doing something wrong? So I'm like, I don't like him. But like, how does that make me wrong?
Yeah, I feel you, man. Because it's like, his portrayal, honestly, it's like, he's as a third. Technically, well, it's weird because now I can't really call him a third calamity, like the third commander and stuff, like, because if they have all the same rank. But then it's like, it makes me think like, yo, what about the other two? Like, are they literally taking the same energy with Shutamaru? Like, is that happening? Like, I don't know, but I feel like there has to be tiers at least with him. And Jack, I've always been of the mindset it has to be the weakest calamity, definitely, because the fact that we haven't even yet to see King and Queen or whoever the first and second are.
And soup coming up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But then the clash itself, here it's like I consider this to be somewhat of a fight clash. But I feel like this is something where again Toei is gonna really like flesh this more out, make it a natural fight.
Play a little longer.
Yeah, and then him saying like I didn't die back then, so there's no way a small fire like he was taking me down. Obviously confirming right there that he was Ashura Doji. It's pretty funny because later on, like in the later chapters, I think it was 924. I completely didn't pay attention to the part where like Kingmon was saying like, oh, Ashura Doji and stuff, and I'm like, because I went straight to like seeing if the kid, the other ones were okay and stuff. So
the silhouette's actually pretty similar too.
Yeah,
a lot of people. I wasn't sure which one it was, but it was specifically Ashura Doji. I didn't know why, but in hindsight, that was why.
Yeah, and then afterwards, man, we get what is one of the most iconic to me. And I know you got spoiled on this, so I completely understand your feelings if you're like, yeah, it's alright, like, you know what I'm saying. But it's like, man, when the skies were turning and spinning, I'm like, huh? Like, this man Jackal's why? And I'm like, when he says that, I'm like, okay, you know something's about to go down. And then Law going like, nah. He's like, Luffy, get over here. What's the matter? And then I turned that page, man, and I almost lost my damn chair. When I saw this dragon pull up, bro. Look, you know, like majestic and everything. And he's like, yo, Jack, bring me those bats right here, right now. And then yo, Luffy like, yo, who is that? And I love the fact that before Law saying that's Kaido, you see like little Momonosuke in dragon form, looking
like shake, like scared.
Oh my god! And I'm just like, yo, you see Kaido's like pissed, bro. Like he's angry. Before we know, of course, he's on his rum pack and stuff. But it's like, yo. I love how there's like the Sun Eternal events. The boss has arrived. That's where it's like, yo, you had this plan stuff last chapter. Plan gone. He's here. It's over. End the story, man. So, what did you think of that when you saw his design and everything? Like, were you impressed with it? Like that he was like, you know, in this dragon form. Did you feel like okay, for you, do you feel like that's his devil fruit, or he's a dragon that ate the ogre nomi, or the omi nomi, whatever, like the ogre thing?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I'm under. Oh my god, the doorbell. I'm under the impression that he ate the dragon devil fruit.
Yeah,
but he was like a regular person. I didn't want to overcomplicate it. I like the design. I think it's well drawn.
Yeah,
but it just not as exciting because it got spoiled for me. But I'll say this though, he looks menacing the way he like came out the sky, the way it darkened and everything. Like that was the part that got it for me because like the weather change and whatnot. And then but I still think he looks like scary on his Oni form personally.
Definitely. I mean, like, yeah, that's what I was most scared of him, because it's like when we saw him in 795, it's just showing up and it's just like this big ass like dude with the tusks and everything going on. Like he's just a spooky fella. But like here, man, it's just like, yo, if this is, you know, he's in his final form, like, but I don't even know, man, because it's like 100 Beast Kaido. I'm expecting to be some like Kaluthu like thing where he has like different forms and stuff going on. Like, I don't know. I mean, that in itself would be crazy, but I'm dead.
It would make more sense for why it's called like the strongest creature if he keeps transforming to other things. So I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, because in the chat, someone's like, "Yo, answer the door."
Oh,
I'm
nah,
dead. I'm just
hey,
crying. I'm crying, bro. I'm crying. Yo, y'all wild, bro. LS Afro might have to get the mod stats for that. I don't know. That was funny. But so we got to see afterwards, you know, yeah, Cthulhu basically being like the actual like it's like a dragon snake, like this. Basically a mixture of like a flying animal, an animal on sea, an animal on land, like basically like a mixture of like a whole bunch of crazy animals and stuff to create this dude. So yeah, that's kind of how for me originally, that's how I looked at Kaido when it comes to like the 100 Beast stuff form, is that he would have just different parts of whatever. Like he's just that crazy. Like he can just have that many different forms. But if him being just dragon, I'd be perfectly fine with that too. But we get to see him afterwards, terrorizing things afterwards in Okobore town. Law kind of explained the whole situation and stuff. I don't hate these a lot now, because like he's repeating things that had happened prior, you know. So like little events that we kind of like misremember, like stuff that happened like way back in like, you know, Drum Island, Alabasta and stuff that we just don't remember. Like him kind of giving like refreshers of what was going on. Like, you know, this is the reason why he's pissed off, because of all the things that went down. So I like that. But then just like, you know, after all of that, Luffy's just like, all right, I'm heading over to Okobore town. We got to do this. And Law's just like, to me, it's like, man, Law at this point, it's like, yo, I think he really wants to just like get out of this alliance after that point. I mean, like, yeah, he like, I wouldn't say I don't know, because it's like, do you feel like he owes Luffy, or like, you know, after everything that happened, or just like, you know, like what are your stance on that? Like if Law says like, you know, screw the alliance, I'm done.
You should like get out of here, like do your own thing. I don't think, like, I get it because of the Dofi stuff. I don't know if he's indebted to Luffy, but he owes to a certain degree. But I mean, remember, he saved him first, way back when in Marineford. So like you could see it as even. Yeah, you could. It depends on your viewpoint. To me, they're pretty square at this point.
Definitely. But shit. So we got that, and then like so we got to see like Luffy afterwards going into Okobore town. The Law is just telling everyone, don't be seen, because the second you do that, there's legit no point in my alliance with you guys. I'm just gonna dip. So he's gonna try and figure things out. We see Kaido afterwards coming in, doing his thing afterwards with you know, all the people and stuff. They're all freaking out, they're going crazy and stuff, and then drunk gimmick comes into play. Now, what did you feel about that?
Saw it coming, because we had already saw him do that gimmick a little bit.
Yeah.
back when he knocked that one dude off the island, and I was okay with it. I was like, yo, I don't like when these guys are super overly serious and stuff. I don't mind if they have a little like personality quirk. So I laughed like, oh, this is funny. I like this.
Yeah, that was the same thing. I was like, I'm thinking like he's all serious, like I remember you from back then, and like talking about the past, and then it's like he's just like I'm like, what the hell, like, and this it just goes into it's like, oh my god, he's on the drunk pack gimmick, man.
Yeah, it's like if. Like the hunger disorder thing was fine. I just think Oda kind of overused it a little bit too much. In Whole Cake with like the oh no, we're gonna die this chapter. She's on Prometheus. Like no, we're fine. Like like every cliffhanger was that. I think he overdid it. I don't mind the disorder, but yeah, man, Kaido was funny in Raw. He's fun. Yeah, I like that. I like when these guys are fun.
Yeah, I love like when they're again like his character's being fleshed out more and stuff. Where it's like they get to see more of a side to him. Like like Jack saying like yo Kaido, like are you drunk? And he's like oh, are you drunk? And he's like yeah, he's totally drunk. Yeah, he's off the
he's off the pack.
Yeah, bro. Like, he literally been drinking sake and stuff and everything, man. So he's like coming in to literally decimating anything and everything in sight. Luffy's coming down. Law's like catching up with him afterwards. Hawkins like telling him afterwards if you want to find like Luffy and Law and stuff, they're over at the ruins of Oden Castle. And to me, it's like again. Hawkins, there's something up with him. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if he knew in hindsight that they were there actually, because obviously they were there. We know the fact that they were there and stuff. So it's like, unless in hindsight or he was trying to distract them or whatever. So like, I feel like there is something going on with them. He's trying his best not to like, reveal his cards and stuff. Literally reveal his cards, especially someone like Jack who's right there. And I know like we rip on Jack, but I found it cool. Like, he's actually like sitting down, actually waiting, like listen to like what Hawkins is trying to say.
That was his best panel. Like he's crazy. Yeah, like that was his best panel.
Yeah, he's like chilling, bro. And then it's like literally this is where things turn. I'm like, okay, this man Kaido's a sicko because he's like, he said Oden Castle. He's like, how nostalgic, and I'm like, and in my mind, what's clicking is like, Toki being burned alive in the castle, and I'm like, this man.
Wow, I didn't put that together. Jesus.
I'm like, bro, this guy's. That's where I stopped like I was reading. I'm like, this man's a sicko. Like he remembered, like he literally snapped out of his drunkenness. He's like, yeah, I remember that. So it's like, that's where like they skirt off to the ones that took my smiles, those successful rookies. And he's remembering like the newspaper and everything when he saw Law and Luffy taking care of Doflamingo, which I thought was dope. And then, Ashura Doji coming in, trying to do, move her towards closer to Kaido and stuff, see what's going on. And then we get a Toriko level attack, man. Listen, this is something.
It reminds you of the Horse King, right? The horse thing, right?
Of the Horse King and Darowist, bro, with the extra dimensional.
Okay.
So, but definitely the Horse King, bro, with the breath thing, the nose.
The nose.
Oh my god, bro! I'm like and I saw Nami. I thought legit they like not they were gonna get incinerated and stuff, but like that they would get mangled at the very least. And this is the first time in a long time that we've seen Luffy make a face like that since Ace's death. So I was like, I know people were like upset that, oh, why did he jump Kaido? Why did he do that? And so I'm like, look, if he didn't do that, I would be concerned for Luffy as to like, exactly. Are you gonna literally just go back? That like in my heart, that is what I wanted so badly from Marineford. That is what I wanted. I know, I get completely. Yeah, he was like, drawn out so much energy and everything that happened in Marineford. I wanted that, even if I know he has no shot of beating Akainu, but at least give me that. Even if I know he's gonna get worked by Akainu, at least give me that. Where it's like, how dare you do that, and then him pass out afterwards. I've been completely fine with that. I know that's just me.
That's what I expected, but I actually like that he had the mental breakdown or like that. Especially when you get the flashback and you understand that in a lot of ways he was his pillar of support, and that like it's just the person he spent the most time with growing up. Yeah. It all came full circle. I get you though. I feel you. Yeah. But I actually like that he did that, because this is the point where you get like a nine-tailed fox something. Because I'm thinking, oh, his Conqueror's Haki is gonna come do something crazy. This is like way back in the day, right?
Yeah, I felt the same way too. And I'm like, listen, if there's a time to ever implore that demons or stuff and the Will of D is gonna make sense and they have some kind of thing inside of them, that was the time to give us a leak of what that is. Now it's like, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to have it happen, because where was that when it could have happened? Even if it didn't do anything, but at least show me that there's another stage to this whole Will of D, Conqueror's Haki, whatever it is. So now it's like, I don't know if I want that afterwards, because it's like, oh, it's gonna come now because of this happening. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, Luffy reacted exactly how you should expect him to react.
I
I don't
loved it,
understand
dude.
why anyone thought differently.
Look,
He thought he was gonna be like, honestly, I have to make a calculated plan here and retreat.
yeah,
Like, no, that's
and
not
Luffy's
Luffy's
like,
not doing
yeah,
that. Like, what
look,
story are you guys
I'm
reading?
pointing right here because this is where I sit for my reactions, dude. I lifted that chair because this man came in through the punch. First, Elephant Gun, I understand. Like, I was hoping, like, Thor afterwards kind of looking at it. But in itself, that was one of the most hyped double spreads I've seen. Like, Luffy just coming in and punching Kaido. And obviously didn't land any damage whatsoever. It's just like one of those, like, a tickle. Literally, it was the Kaido. But it's like, it's one of those moments I love because it's like, he's not, like, now look at the development from him. Before, if there was a pre-time skip, he's passing out. In my mind. If he was already, like, worked and everything, he's passing out. But in that stage, like, he went in, did like almost like a Sabote level thing, like, literally coming in and just punching this dude, even though it did nothing. But again, just the fact that he did that was dope. And then we jump into afterwards 923, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm an ape for this. Okay, so I legit thought Luffy was working Kaido. When I was reading this chapter, I legit thought he was giving Kaido the works because of the fact that he was drunk, and I'm in my head, this is the way we have to beat him. He has to be unconscious, drunk, and everything. And then taking into the fact afterwards into the chapter, he's letting him do this. He's just like, okay, can you actually try?
I didn't fall for it because of the Sky Island, the balloon terminal thing, where I'm like, if you did that and got like a mild headache, like you have to exert equal or more force to even start to hurt him.
Yeah.
So I didn't personally fall for it, but I tell people a lot of times when it comes to a character like Superman, because of how powerful he is, you can have enough strength and speed to knock Superman backwards, but not enough to hurt him.
Yeah.
It's just that thing. It's like physics exists. Like, if you come with enough force and speed, you're gonna hit him backwards, but it doesn't mean you're hurting him.
Yeah. And then it's like I agree definitely where I think it was Stry Gamer was saying greatest squash match in anime history. That because literally it's almost like like some guy just came out of development is getting all these shots in on someone like a Roman Reigns and just they got one shot easily, no problem. So that's how it literally was. But it's like, yo, I would legit in my mind I'm like, yo, this man Luffy's grown, and then it's like. When this man did when he showed his face, like Kaido was like going back to his human form, he was like looking up afterwards, and he's just like, I'm like, okay, something's gotta be up. He's just letting him do it. He's just letting him do it. And then it's just like, as soon as he did the sigh, I'm like,
oh, I knew it was over. That was okay.
I'm like, then that's what clicked in my mind. I'm like, wait, he wasn't. He let this happen, and I'm like, I turn this page, and he just gets hit with, and I don't know what I forgot the translation for the viz, but
Divine Thunder 8. Thunder trigrams.
Like, what? Like, what the hell? But before even because I really did skip through this one. The stuff regarding Tama, man, my daughter getting. Listen, man, the satisfactory for me getting to see Kaido get his ass whooped, like literally dropping the belt to Luffy, is gonna be so satisfying because of that. But at the same time, I'm gonna need Tama to come in and smack my boy up because listen, that was a horrible play you ran in the third quarter, man. Like putting her on speed and just because this man, because I'm thinking in my mind, okay. Because when that happened, I'm like, okay, maybe it's gonna be the king or queen or whatever, or maybe Jack, because Jack was gonna be on the way that sees speed. I didn't think it'd be Kaido, and Speed got wrecked. Like poor girl, man. She got literally destroyed trying to protect her. And then in my mind, like, thank God she said master, because if she just said the girl, she would have been to me. She'd been dead. Right then she would have been dead. But the fact that she still retained, I guess, of whatever the dango and stuff that she consumed, so having the control. I was like, thank God at the very least that she said that, because I was like, bro, there's no way you're killing my daughter off. I would be like, bro, I'll come in the manga and jump this man if I have to. I don't
imagine the blues could do, we could do it in the manga. Yo,
literally that would be it. That would the blues could do, we can do. Like, so literally that's how I would do it. Like, I would just go,
yeah, that's sound effect.
But literally,
shout out to Blue's Clues, dog.
Yo, shout out my boy Steve, man. Yo, he was out here, man, back in the day. Channel 2, bro.
He was Picasso with the crayon.
Yeah,
bro.
he was, bro. Yo, he was manga before manga, man. Straight up for me. But but yeah, it was dope as hell, man. To, like, I mean, well, Blue's Clues, yes, but like the whole stuff regarding like Tama and like with Speed, man, I was just like distraught, because then like Luffy, even him saying himself, like, I should have been with her. She should have stayed with you, not you go to her. She stays with you. The person that needs to be protected the most is her, and the safest she's going to be is with you. You don't send her out, especially with the enemy. Even though Speed, I know, was under control, That doesn't matter, man. You know the conditions of where Wano was at. That I felt was one of the stupidest moves he could have made. And I know some people are gonna try and give him like, you know, a pass and say we're gonna know, like he didn't know, like whatever. But it's like you know better, man. You're not.
This was important for me because this is a big moment for me because like I felt like I use it as a general scaling now because you guys like to use like the commander level thing. But like if you take Katakuri, everything Luffy had went through with that like 11-hour fight, right? And the fact that he was able to walk away.
Yeah.
Despite exerting so much energy, think about the fact that Kaido matched all of that with one swing. That's showing you the level of gap between, you know, the kind of first commander Yonko to like the Yonko themselves.
Yeah.
So that was a big statement. I like that. And I like this too, just because Luffy made a string of bad decisions that were bad in hindsight, with the Tama thing, right? We kind of let Tama down, and in a sense, Ace, because you're basically the proxy for him for the time being. Two, you constantly undermine Law's plans over and over and over and over. And now you didn't listen to it, and look what happened to you, right? So that's another thing. And the fact that Okobore Town saw him lose. Like they still like believe in him. They don't want him to feel bad, but it was like, this kind of humbling moment was something that I think he needed, so I like it.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick though in the chat, because I know someone saying like if it was with Luffy, that's not the best option, or should be in the way, and or like even saying too like the fact that like, you know, she would have been hurt along with them. We know that they're fine. There's no way, like again, she would have been protected by any means necessary with them. So like she wouldn't. How would she be really in the way if she's with Nami and all of them afterwards? Like it wouldn't make any sense to me. Like she would have been fine. Like that's the safest place you could put her. See, even if something happened again, if she's getting hurt, someone else is getting hurt. But it's like, bro. Look at her state. If Oda didn't care, she would have been dead right there and then. We would actually saw the full body of her just being dead with an apple right beside her. Like, no, she would have been perfectly fine with them afterwards. Like, if you feel like that wasn't the case, then guess what? Luffy just lost a majority of his crew right there and then that day. So like, no, they would have been fine. Oda's not gonna do that. So honestly, that should have been the right move there. Keeping with Luffy, would have stayed with Nami and them. It's as simple as that. But again, Luffy, I still love Luffy, but it's just like such a dumb moment on this part, in my opinion. But so we get through, you know, him getting one shot, and he's saying that's what kind of pirate king you want to be and everything, and just like what kind of pirate,
what kind of king you say you would be, you brat. I was like, talk your shit.
Yeah, and he's like, this is the power of the strongest creature in the world. I'm just like, bro. This is him just him doing his thing. Like just this is normal work. That's not even like he literally just that's practice, like, you know, a bat like actual in baseball, like Domino Ace, like literally just practice like a swing. That's literally what it was. Yeah. And the fact that it shows that like, he is fast too. Like I know some people were saying like, oh, you know, Kaido is not faster than Kizaru. Like, okay, I get it, of course, when it comes from that factor when you put his fruit, but it's like Kaido ain't slow if he did that. Like he literally ran up on Luffy. Is he faster than Gear Second Luffy? I don't know. That's gonna be tough to say, but he's not slow. He's actually pretty damn quick. Jack himself was pretty quick too, in a way, you know, holding himself off with like Inuarashi and Nekomamushi. So to say that, you know, Kaido can't be fast either, I mean, like, bro, he's a Yonko for crying out loud. Like he covers all areas. Like, but let me see. So yeah, so we got to 924, which is the conclusion of everything here, and then we'll go into some more stuff to the chat, and then probably wrap up things soon because we've literally been streaming for 2.5 hours. I got
my stream soon.
Yeah. So my bad. But 924, which is the conclusion of Act 1, which he sent tomorrow afterwards. You know, just, you know, cutting down like all the little logs. I thought it was weird. I looked at these little things. I'm like, they're koalas, but they're actually like little bears. I'm like, oh wow, I'm stupid. Like they have like the little ears and everything telling you to. I'm like, I'm an idiot. But
I mean, they're kind of like Beppo grandparents, if you had any, to me.
Yo, that'd be
the one before this with Koala.
Yeah, yo, that'd be
Koala, my favorite characters. I know
that'd be crazy. That's his grandparents. Like, where is that dumbass grandson of ours? He's just chilling. But we get all that afterwards. You know, Luffy and Kaido's, you know, clash or fights pretty much ending the way it did. Luffy leaking white eyes and everything. He's still breathing and everything. He's fine, but you know, of course, you know, Kaido's like, of course he is, because like, he did it. I didn't try to kill him, like, you know.
Oh, is that how you interpreted it? I interpreted it as like, maybe that's possible. I was kind of like, he was like he would expect at least that much from Luffy. Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it. But I mean, maybe.
I mean, that's the thing, because if he didn't feel like get rid of him, like he saw potential too. Because the fact that we knew right afterwards, he said he was gonna try and recruit him and stuff. It's like he saw the potential, and like that's for me is what we're gonna went afterwards with Kid, like, because that's where I feel this was a similar scenario. Did we get to see a lot more of Kid and all the stuff he did aside from him blowing up Big Mom's ships and getting confronted on his own island? I mean, that's different from what Luffy went through, but I feel like, to me, that in a way kind of says that they're equal, but we'll kind of dive into those little parts after. But We got the revelation about Sea Stone being originating from Wano, and that's what I kind of want to talk about too, because you know how they're saying that only the finest of craftsmen of Wano can refine it to such a small size, and this is something. And you have to tell me if I've pretty much missed this or whatever at point in time in the series. We've never seen Sea Stone bullets.
Only in film Z. Cypher Z.
Yeah.
He had a gun where he shot Luffy in the movie with a Sea Stone bullet.
Right.
We've seen it. We've seen the Sea Stone cages. The tip of Smoker's GT is coated in Sea Stone prism. We've seen Sea Stone cages and stuff, handcuffs, all of that. But specifically a bullet, we have not seen it. Anytime Luffy gets shot with one, he always lets it hit him so he can be like, "Kick on, go down." I'm like rubber.
Yeah.
So
and then like
no, I haven't seen it in the manga.
So
yet.
we've seen like the Sea Stone nail, right? And this is where I wanted to bring back like a Usopp into the thick of things. And I'm thinking to myself, right? Could we see something where Usopp is going to have another weapon to his arsenal and actually have Sea Stone bullets? So like, you know, you have those Kabuto and everything. He'll be flinging
Kaido Seki drive-bys.
Yeah, I would like to see that happen, because that throws another. Again, it's like I don't need Usopp to be a hand-to-hand combat, whatever. If he's the sniper of the crew, which he is, that in itself would be dope, because look, he has other means of fighting people and being raw at the same time. Like, I would love to see this Sea Stone bullets, like him just flinging back Kabuto and stuff. Like, yo, that'll be crazy, bro. You imagine people like he can take down like Logias and stuff with that. Like, it'll be dope, man. But just like, yeah, I mean, then we got like, you know, the revelation about that and stuff. You know, Hawkins again. This is the second time now he's let Law escape, and then you know, there's something going on with him definitely.
I don't feel like Locke should have got away if he had the Sea Stone prism nailed in. I think Hawkins let him get away for some reason.
Yeah, and I think he's just also waiting until Kaido kind of moves away and then Jackals is gone and stuff. That way he wants to kind of make his own move, especially now the fact that we know Law is kind of by himself. He's kind of like stuck in the rock in between a hard place, because it's like he wants to see whether or not Beppo and them are safe, because again, his crew, he cares for them. But at the same time, it's like, I can't let Luffy go to prison because that's gonna script so many things afterwards. Like, I need you to be here for this to work out. So we see afterwards, Kaido is like, he comes up, he's like, I can't tell if it's unyielding fighting spirit or it's some kind of false bravado, but he's been glaring at me for a while now. Now, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Boys, like, eyes like whited out. But like, do you think like he's still looking at Kaido even with the like him being knocked out?
To me, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, he may have been unconscious and beaten, but Kaido could still feel Luffy's will and intent that he wants to defeat him and take him down. Like, he hasn't given up. His spirit's not broken. He's still glaring at him I want to beat you, surpass you. And we get that at the end of the chapter. We see that's true. Because some people were telling me, do I think that Luffy's going to be demoralized? I'm like, no, he's not.
Definitely.
He's just going to be more motivated. But what I like about this is like I felt like seeing Kaido not drunk was a treat, because he's a lot more level-headed than you would expect.
Yeah.
Where he was like, I felt like he was somewhat impressed. Like, we don't need more conquerors. I could still feel this kid's like, you know, unyielding spirit or whatever you want to call it. And in addition to that, I thought the way he handled the news report stuff was telling of like, yeah, well, I'm not trying to ruin my relationship with this country. Remember, remove that, put Luffy Taro, make sure it says samurai and not pirate. And I'm like, bro, this guy's not an idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, Big Mom was kind of goofy even when she's not. Like...
Yeah, but he's not stupid himself, man. Like, he knows clearly what's going on. He can be in a drunken state. He knows like what's up, basically.
What?
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? I forget. I'm trying to remember what game it was, but somebody has a laugh like that, and I'm like, bro, he literally feels like a boss out of a video game saying that thing, like, oh no, yo, I remember. Please tell me you remember Majora's Mask, bro. Do you remember like the Dekus and stuff, like the little the grasshopper dudes and stuff, bro? Like, that's what. Remember like that one king because his daughter got captured and stuff. That's literally what he sounds like. Like the one. I'll
have to listen to it again.
Yeah, he sounds like a few people know in the chat about Majora's Mask, bro. If you remember the Deku the guy or whatever, right? When you have to go rescue the daughter, he always that laugh. I'm like, yo, Majora's Mask, bro. But it was crazy, like him just doing that and kind of saying like, you know, we'll have to keep him here because, you know, he'll be a formidable soldier for us once we break down his will, and not to make sure like not to say pirates in the newspaper that was captured, because it's forbidden for the outside world to have any influence here. I feel like he's doing this because, again, he doesn't want any kind of trouble to kind of mess up whatever plans he has, because I think he knows if the Marines get involved, it's going to just be a thorn in his ass, literally, to kind of like do whatever, because I feel like that's because he has some kind of plan as well. It's not just him recruiting people. I mean, he wants the war and everything that's going down, but I believe still in the betrayal thing with Orochi is that he has something that he wants as well, more than that. So, you know, create the greatest war, go to Raftil, have his, you know, his Greek death, I don't know. But then we see Luffy, the King's Hockey moment, you know, or should I say, Hockey of the Supreme King, should I say. That moment itself was so dope. Like just seeing like all of them just like huh, and they just get boom, like just knocked out. And Kaido's just like huh.
Crazy. I love it.
And Kaido's like what? And then he's like I love that Ashura was saying too is like Lord Oden's ability that unconscious pride uses. So kind of confirming right there, Oden had King's Haki the Supreme King. And then the moment I was like, yo, thank God, because I was gonna be like, okay, Law is a D. He has his own thing that's going on. What does Kid have? Is he a D? Does he have King's Haki? Or Haki the Supreme King, and then it's confirmed he does in fact have Haki the Supreme King. But the fact that Kaido even states that he doesn't want that many conquerors in his crew, because it makes sense, because from a hierarchy standpoint, in terms of having people in your group, you don't want to have too many heads where they're like, oh, I'm the leader, I'm the leader, I'm the leader. Like, you want enough followers that are going to be following you as the leader, and he knows that if he has too many of those, that's going to cause problems within the ranks. So I like that kind of perspective where he understands exactly how a crew is supposed to work. It's not just a bunch of me person. It's you, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, the world doesn't mean this many conquerors. I love it. Yeah. I wasn't shocked that Kid was a conqueror. That didn't surprise me, to be honest. I like that because it's like I feel like in a lot of ways the three most important like worst generation supernova are Law, Luffy, and Kid. And it's like Luffy's the D and he has conquerors. I don't think Kid is a D, but he has conquerors. But then Law's a D, but he doesn't have conquerors. So I like that dynamic. Yeah, like, so like they all kind of lack and have certain things. That was
and
cool.
Luffy's being the person who has the mix of both. Basically,
yes,
so that stuff was definitely dope. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it'd be crazy too if Kid is revealed to be a D and stuff, because I know some people are gonna throw that.
It's not impossible, but I don't know. I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I could see that is unless he has information or so from like his upbringing as to maybe it makes sense as to why he treats people a certain way, is because of who he is, the D and stuff. But then again, you would feel like on the bounty posters. But then again, it's like with Law too. It's like they didn't know he was a D either, so he could be hiding it too. So people don't know, because he knows it's a problem with like the Tenryubito and stuff always getting in the way of things, and how he kind of despises their views and how they kind of put their practices and stuff. So maybe that he doesn't want that kind of like smoke in his way,
I mean, so that we got like the news. Well, Rashi found Otama.
Oh yeah, thank God, man. Hey, listen, man. Shout out to my dog of the year, bro. He was out here balling.
Big safe.
Yeah, man. Hawkins afterwards, saying he's gonna go and try and find Law. So hopefully we get that set up in the next chapter. Kinemon confirming the whole thing regarding with Ashura Doji, and then again the stuff with Suru, which I absolutely love the bits.
Yeah, like, man. I need that. I need him. I need those two to prosper. I know,
man. I need to see like a panel of them just like hugging each other or something. That's like that to me. That would be almost like with Jack and like his main girl at the end of Samurai Jack, like something along those lines. That stuff would be dope.
And like the faces, that was funny as hell.
Yeah. So they like
we already touched on the Robin stuff though, but that was fucking hilarious. That was great.
Franky and like Usopp, their faces, and I love how Zoro he's making the face, but if you notice, the box he's eating wasabi.
Yeah,
so
it's like, probably because of the wasabi.
He's not best by saying like he's making but I think he's making the face more for the wasabi than because Luffy got captured. He knows his captain something's gonna happen to his captain, but he's making it because of the damn wasabi. I'm like, well, this guy's sicko. Like, yeah. Like he shows he to him it doesn't care so much because he knows there's gonna be a way Luffy's gonna get out of it, but everyone else is just like, bro, we had a plan. Like, how you don't mess that up? Like,
like Luffy's here. Oh God, oh Lord.
Yeah, that's what I'm already. Yeah, and it's just like you see like my boys on the boat and everything. Like he doesn't even have the money to pay for like the stuff, which kind of reminded me in a way of Logtown a bit, because you remember how he wanted to get like the money, like he wanted to buy the swords and stuff, and then Nami's like, oh, I'll give you money, but there's gonna be interest to it, and then like obviously that wasn't the case.
Nami's a damn crook.
Yeah, that's big facts. But she is our Secretary of Defense, man. So we kind of need that person to protect the money. But yeah, my boy, I don't know, he's going to Raftel. I honestly like I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Elbaf at this point. Like he just leaves the arc and just like, you know what, man, I don't care anymore. Just like do what you want. But yeah, he's doing
Luffy captured.
Yeah, he's doing it. But then again, I kind of assume he's gonna go back to the Flower Capital just because the fact of the scenery and stuff of where he is. I feel like he may be going back there. Maybe he's probably gonna be like near like Orochi's like headquarters and stuff possibly. So I don't know. Runs into Robin hides. I don't know. Like honestly, I honestly don't know about this guy. But we saw all that. We go to the prison area, which is in Udon, which I'm assuming this has to be another region. It's not gonna be too far off, or unless that's the actual factories that we were seeing earlier in Curry, and that's still in Curry, or Udon is the actual like region itself. Like what if in the chat, let me know if what you think on that. But We go to Udon afterwards, the prison. You know, you see like all the people there manufacturing like the iron and stuff that's there, all like the weapons that Kaido's like preparing and everything. And I actually like to see that, but I hope we get to see more of Kaido actually in the factories and kind of explain what he's trying to do with them. You know, if he's gonna create like his own weapons of mass destruction or just whatever it is. You know, the liquor ore that we saw with Dragon way back in Zou and stuff. So, and then we get to see like this third person. Before Luffy coming in, we see this third person with like, you know, he's in the cell. They're giving like a poisonous fish with like bones removed and stuff. I was gonna say this to you because I wanted to know what do you think. Because last arc, I assumed we were gonna get Gin coming back into the story, but I'm thinking, yo, what if he's the one that's in the prison cell because of the fact that he was hit with the poison during Peretti, and if he say he survived,
MH5 gas bomb,
and then now because he's immune to it now because of that.
I always wanted them to come back into the story.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'm okay with it. I don't think that's the case, but I'd be okay with it just because Don Krieg's an East Blue legend. That's my boy. And I like getting the stuff.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know if that's the case or not. But I honestly, the first time I read it, I thought it was Kid who spat the bone.
That's what I thought too, but then I'm like,
yeah, there's a third person for sure. It's not Magellan, but people who said that was Magellan, it's not him.
No, come on.
Someone told me it was Jinbei. It's not Jinbei.
Yeah, to me, most of the mindset could be Kawamatsu or Dendro, like one of the two, and then Zoro maybe runs into Killer and the other person, and that's how they kind of like they immediately get at each other at the prison. That's how they break them out. Or again, Luffy, Kid, and then this person who's in there break out together, which would be dope. But we get to see Luffy coming in, bro. He bandages and everything. He looks like a sick human being, bro. Someone you put in level 6.5, like or some shit.
Yeah, he does. And then them being like, "You'll pay for this, Kaido."
Yeah,
and then and then both like, "Wait, you're." And then after it closes off to end Act 1. That was so good. Yeah.
By the way, Finn is indeed end. It's not Finn. Finn means end. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
La Fin. Y'all talk about Finn.
Act 1 end. But that concludes Act 1 itself, man, which I really like that little thing where it's like, you know, we started halfway into 909 with like, you know, the current opening and then ends the chapter with the current closing. That was like my only thing. I really wish the current opening was the beginning of the chapter, not the middle. But then again, we would have not gone the stuff with Marco, which I think you could have done that maybe in a chapter itself prior and maybe make 910 Wano. I don't know.
But it kind of just happened in the middle of the chapter, but it is what it is, I guess.
There's not that much that bothered me. But I loved Act 1. What would you give it a rating? Because for me personally, it's a 9, but given what we see in Act 2, I could push it to a 10. Like, because Wano, I've been waiting for it. I'm loving it. There's nothing I don't like about it. Like, it's just everything I love about it.
I can't give it less than 8.5. 9 is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, definitely. But like, Chad, let me know also too what you guys think rating wise for first act of Wano. So we'll get into comments quick and then wrap things up after. But yeah, definitely, I love Wano where it's at right now. I'm very excited to see how Act 2 is gonna like come out. I want to know predictions what you have, because I know I did a video already for it, and you know, cheap plug if you haven't seen that video, end of the stream you'll see it. But what do you think though, Nya? Like Act 2, what do you expect to see basically when we get there? And like how many chapters you think it is based on the fact that like, you know, an actual play 2 through 4 go by really quick. So if you have to give me like a rough estimate, what you think it'll be?
I would say every act would be a little longer. How much was this one? It was what 9 or what?
Yeah, so 15 chapters it was in total. Yeah,
maybe 20 to 24.
Okay,
I think a bit longer each time, and then at the last 2 acts supposed to be a lot longer.
Well, I know what's it called 2 through 4. I know are the very quick ones and stuff. I know 1 is technically I want to say longest because of the introductory stuff. Act 2 is like your rising action or like, you know, setup. 3 is like your they say climax, but it's like literally the boiling point basically, and then like 4 being either climax or like falling action, and then 5 being like your resolution / and it's a French word. You help me out if I'm pronouncing it properly. Denouement.
I don't know what you're trying to say to me.
I don't know either. Denouement pretty much being like, you know, like a resolution basically. I don't know if that's what it is.
I don't know. Because you said it so English. Type it. Someone type it out so I can see it.
Hold on.
I think we're gonna see everyone else. I think we'll see like chat saying.
Yeah.
I expect to see Killer. I want to see, the Shogun. I think we'll kind of get to see what they were doing in the Flower Capital a bit more with Usopp and stuff. I expect to see that. I'm like the immediate thing I want to see, the most is I want to see like Luffy and Kid in that kind of like, I guess you want to call it a losing situation. You know, I feel like they're gonna work them. You know, try to break their spirit. I want to see that. That's gonna be fun. Like it's gonna be great. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like this is like really one of the exciting times. And like, do you see anything of us going back to like Reverie at one point in time, like within Act 2? Because I feel like, because obviously like the 2 weeks are gonna pass and stuff. I feel like this will be the only time I would want to see us.
Oh, the new mom. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gentlemen.
So what did I say? What does it say it again so I know what it is?
Denouement.
Denouement? You know what's funny? Because in my predictions, I thought I said it right, so I put it like in the translate. Yeah, I said it right.
Denouement.
That's awesome, yo. Denouement. Say it again. Denouement?
Listen, we'll get you up to speed up in French.
Hey, but listen, bro, I had a bad experience in Quebec. All right, we're not doing this gimmick right now. But
no. But yeah. I think the kid stuff. I need to see what DS Drake. I need that. What's he doing?
Yeah, because I feel like it's weird because the fact that a lot of characters we didn't get to actually like see, like we like heard their names be mentioned here and there, but didn't get to see, makes me feel like they're second tier of importance in the arc. But then I don't feel like that's the case too, because again, like opening up the borders is massive for Orochi. Drake's character, if we know from actual history, Drake is supposed to be like based on like an actual revolutionary who actually opened up the borders. I don't know if it was for Japan or for something else, but that's basically what his character is supposed to be symbolized on. And I'm like, yeah. So like as a revolutionist, so it makes sense though. Like he's going to have some big role. That's why I could kind of see him being one of the people that does turn on Kaido at some point in time, if based on his actual character or the person that he's based off of. So. It's really weird. Like Lady Hiyori too. I feel like it makes sense her being her in Act 2 thing. You don't need to bring her up in Act 1 if you haven't seen Orochi as well. So I do expect her to be like that, honestly, as like the like a geisha or something, or maybe she's locked up in the flower capital. But yeah, let me just see what.
Well, man.
Yeah,
Wano's been great.
Yeah, it's been something. I look. It has not disappointed. I've waited for this man since goddamn like 2012. It's. I love it, man. Like it's honestly been hitting on all cylinders and hasn't disappointed whatsoever. But let me see what the people are saying. What about that snake woman? She probably a headliner too. I don't think a headliner. I could see her being like one of like Orochi's like side chicks or something, like, or like almost like if you know like Kimetsu no Yaiba, Naya, like that one dude who has like the 3 wives.
Okay, yeah.
So something similar to that, where he just has a bunch of like wives on him and stuff. I could see her be literally being that, or like just a big like supporter. But I want to see more of her because I think she was raw. Let's see. Yeah, Hiyori definitely. I want to try and see that. At least King and Queen are gonna be revealed here, unless like you're gonna wait until Act 3 for the war to show them. That would be like I feel too late.
Yeah, I want to see at least one more calamity or all-star. I don't know, the disaster, whatever you want to call it at this point. I want to see one more.
Yeah, because then to me, all it would just be is like meathead merchants. They're here for the fight. That's it. Like, okay, cool. I mean, Jack is technically a useless meathead merchant, but I if that's all for Kaido's crew, that would kind of make me disappointed a little bit in his crew, because all they are just fighting people. Like they don't like how Katakuri has at least a layer to him. Brûlé has a layer to her and stuff. Smoothie. I mean, she did nothing, but she has layers. But to them, it's just like, bro. Like, I mean, meatheads are fine, but it's just like, yo, give me depth. Like,
thank you. A little bit more, please.
Yeah, at least, like, even if King looks like a goddamn Cyclops and he has one eye, like, bro, let me know what happened. Like, yo, what's good? But let me see. I'd be hyped if Hiyori is a calamity and she's been raised by Kaido, but I doubt it. That would be very weird.
That would be kind of crazy. I considered it, but again, that's a thing though. I doubted it. So
yeah, because could you imagine like he has a regret maybe or something? Because like it's weird. I've always been in the mindset that Kaido and Hancock could be related.
Boa?
Yes. You wanna know why? So remember the story of her when she like went out to set sail to sea and stuff, and she was with her sister, she had nobody and stuff, right? I've always been of the mindset that Kaido was the father, and that the reason for a lot of the reasons why he goes nuts and like, because obviously like his power or whatever it is, like, and stuff, right? But the reason why he went fucking crazy is the fact that he lost his daughter and didn't know where his daughter was and was willing to go to the extremes to find her. And that's like a majority of the reason why he ended up doing like a lot of stuff he was doing, because he's trying to find her. And again, the drunk gimmick and stuff is him trying to wash away the pain that he lost his daughter. You know what I mean? So unless like he does have, let's say, a love life in his life or whatever, right? And that person's dead, or like they're there, but like they don't mess with him, then it could be one of those things. Because that and like the dragon tattoo at the time, because I thought it was like correlating to a snake, and maybe that's like also like a way of kind of telling us there's a connection between the two of them. I know it's a stupid like little like a reach right there, but it's like one of those things I kind of took right away when we first met Kaido.
Everyone has to have their reach theories. I have my own too, so don't worry about it.
So it's just
I don't know about that one, Chief.
So yeah, so like I mean, obviously, of course, dragon stuff, but it's just like I don't know. That in itself would be pretty dope. It's like it kind of makes sense for like who her parents would be and stuff, and they'll be like, oh shit, like Kaido being like the baby daddy and stuff. They're like, damn, like that. And it says a lot too. She's a conqueror. Dad's a conqueror. Like where are you getting this? You don't have this like off rip. You got it from somebody's left nut, man. And Kaido's. Definitely.
Anyways.
Definitely. I mean, I like she's definitely beautiful. Personality wise, I never liked her as much, but like I've come to like ease up on her and stuff. I think it's when she kicked that damn dog. I'm like, all right, man. This, you know what?
Okay, well, yeah, you're the owner of the dog, so
yeah. So I would be like, nah, man, we ain't not doing this. But
all right, I'm like late for mine.
Yeah, no worries. we're wrapping up though. I appreciate everyone that came through. It's almost like 3 hours and stuff that we've been here. Nya, I appreciate you coming through. Link in the description down below to his channel, Twitter, everything, man. Definitely go check him out. My boy passed the 700 mark. Let's get him to 1K by the end of the year. We're doing this, man. Appreciate you guys coming through. Like the stream if you enjoy. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below afterwards in regards to your thoughts on Act 1 of Wano thus far. For what we saw, what are your expectations for Act 2? If you guys have not seen my Act 2 predictions video, that will be at the end of this video to see like one of the window thingamajigs that's there. And until then, guys, I will catch you guys in the next chapter. One Piece chapter 925 is dropping this week. We are in here, Wano gang, Wano season, man. And never forget those Zoro's the GOAT.